record. All right, so we're good.
Okay. Oh, you mean we weren't recording all of that?
No, no, but it was being broadcast. So there's that.
Fuck, shake, cock, balls. Oh.
What did you jizz at the end of that cursing tirade?
That's exactly what happened. She climaxed.
Okay.
You better get off my chair.
So for those of you joining us, oh my God, we have already lost control. A minute, not even a minute in. I'm Helena Handbag. Welcome to our third script reading with one of my favorites, The Devil Wears Prada. I'm gonna introduce everybody, and then unlike past script readings where we waited till after intermission to talk about the charity, I'm actually going to turn it over to someone who works for said charity tonight, so they can explain a lot more about this. We hope that this is a little bit of a respite for you, anybody out there watching. And with that being said, I'm going to just get us started by introducing people. I'm obviously playing the role of Emily Charlton. Liz Davidson had a conflict and had to drop out, so I had to step in. So. Playing our wonderfully frumpy to glam co-lead, Andrea Sachs, is Kelsi Davis.
Hello.
Doesn't have to wait until Act 2 to say shit this time.
So exciting. I'm gonna be saying a lot of shit.
I know.
So many words.
Our fashion editor and resident gay on staff, Nigel, played by the fabulous Benjamin Winkler.
Why, hello there. Thank you for having me.
Hey, is it fun to stay at the YMCA?
It is a blast in a glass. I felt Nigel needed a little biker boy fun. So.
Okay.
Nigel's making a fashion statement for the day.
Yes.
Leave her alone.
Nigel couldn't find his bald cap. That's what the real tea.
Oh my God. Okay, so before I'm getting to our star last because it's just gonna be easier to turn it over to her. So, playing the role of Nate, the douchebag from hell, and our narrator tonight, please welcome Brother Daniel.
Hello, douchebag checking in.
You got that good D-bag hair. I like it.
I tried really hard.
Yes. Playing Lily, the Clackers, and about every other female role that has maybe one or two lines, where Jinger Fahrenheit is back.
Hello.
Yay.
Yay.
Also back playing other love interest Christian Thompson and every other male role that has one or two lines. We've got Mona Chase as well.
Why I gotta be a man?
And starring as the literal boss from hell, she is bringing costume again. She bringing theatrics again. Please welcome Samantha Madison.
Hey.
Yay.
That's all.
Okay, so before we get started, I'm going to turn this over to Sam, who can tell us a little bit more about Better Family Life and what they do and why you should give.
Yes, thank you all. So, hey, viewing audience, just here to give a few notes and personal reflections during this time to talk about a local not-for-profit organization. And I just so happen to be an employee of, and I have been an employee for almost 8 years now, which is Better Family Life. Better Family Life is a local organization that was founded in 1983 by Malik and Deborah Ahmed for the hopes of creating a space within the local community to benefit the entire family unit with wraparound services. Better Life has 5 key cohorts. We have housing, we have community outreach, we have cultural arts, we have Missouri Workforce Assistance, and the department that I'm a part of is Youth, Family, and Clinical Services. And through funding through our government and raising independent dollars, we do various different programming to make sure that we reach our initiative and effort goals. And for example, the Youth, Family, and Clinical Services Department, we serve anywhere from 3,000 to 4,000 youth per year through our different programming, including teen pregnancy prevention, after school programming, both in licensed care and in after school programming in one of our local districts, which is Normandy School District, Missouri Workforce Assistance. We help both youth and adults get jobs. Community outreach, they're responsible for the We Must Stop Killing Each Other, We Must Start Loving Each Other initiatives, and cultural arts are responsible for agency events such as Black Dance USA, which is a dance conference and festival, as well as the Kwanzaa Expo, which is the largest of its kind probably in the Midwest and definitely within the metropolitan area. So why do I say all this? Because we are going through a pandemic, okay? So even though it is a very unprecedented time and something that is very unknown to this generation, with the COVID-19 pandemic, we as an agency and the respective departments are still instilling creative, unique, and aggressive approaches to make sure that we're still in contact with our clients, our families, and other people within the community to ensure that they still have the services and resources that they need during this time. Also, there is another pandemic, so to speak, that is still going on, and that is institutionalized systemic racism, right? And we, of course, know all of the events that have surrounded the death of George Floyd. And though Better Family Life as an entity, we do not advocate or encourage protests and things of that nature, we are still a facility that has built our foundation around love. And Better Family Life itself was one of the first organizations that were out in Ferguson after Mike Brown's death to service that particular community out in Ferguson, the Canfield apartment complex. So we are built and based on the foundation of love to service our community and allies that are in support of the efforts of love and surrounding love. So you all may be in our viewing audience, may be wondering how you can contribute to this modern day civil rights movement and revolution that's going on right now, but you can't be on the front lines. And I totally understand. I understand. So as an artist, using art as a form of activism, there are ways that you can be an advocate for the cause. You can start by donating not only Better Family Life, but other Black-owned businesses and organizations and companies within the local area. So because money talks, bullshit walks, okay? So that is just, so you can visit the link that has been provided on either one of our pages at this point in time, and you can donate as little as $5 to $10 to however much you are willing to give up at this time. There is no amount that is too small, and you can give anonymously, and you can also, put in the message the reasoning for your donation. And it'll be greatly appreciated, and it'll help us continue to do the great work and the great work that Better Family Life has been doing for almost 40 years now.
Thanks, Sam. I put a donation link in the chat on YouTube. All you gotta do is just scroll it, copy it, click it, and donate it. So with that in mind, is everybody ready?
Ready.
Okay, so Danny?
Can we remind the audience this time that due to an issue with the script, none of us have been able to highlight our lines, and that we're probably
I fuck up with this one and said that
we're gonna fuck up so bad.
Yeah, so don't
especially those of us, Ginger and I, who often fuck up with the highlighted script and are apparently 17 different people each. We did not think
y'all got like serious multiple personalities tonight.
We'll be all right.
Dude, there's at least a few times that we talk to ourselves. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Please also note that we're going with the full shooting script, which does have stuff deleted from the final draft. We're trying to keep this close to as possible, but until that, Danny, take us away. I've got a little bit of opening music that I got to get queued up and make sure it doesn't drown us out.
Then I definitely won't say music up.
Then allow me then. Allow me. Okay.
All right, fade in, steam on a mirror. Wiped off by Andy Sachs, 20. Pretty but not glamorous, smart but green. Hair up in a towel, brushing her teeth. We intercut Andy getting ready, and we see 3 or 4 other girls getting ready too. A drawer filled with about 40 lipsticks slides into frame. One of the girls carefully applies shiny lip gloss with a brush. Andy puts on cherry chapstick. A lacy thong floats through the air. One of the girls pulls it up her glossy legs. A comfy cotton pair of jockey bikinis is tugged out of a pile, and Andy pulls them on. A gorgeous pair of slingback heels. One of the girls pulls the shoes on while her model, handsome boyfriend reclines on crisp, white sheets watching her. And a pair of uncomfortable wedges. Andy dresses while Nate, rumpled, unshowered, wearing an old Alice in Chains t-shirt, watches her, reclining in a mismatched bed-in-a-bag sheets. A series of quick cuts. Andy eats a full breakfast, eggs, bacon, bagel. One of the girls carefully counts out 7 almonds and pours a huge cup of black coffee. Andy straightens a pile of newspaper clips from the Daily Northwestern with the byline, Andrea Sachs, and proudly tucks them into her hideous college graduation present briefcase. One of the girls takes Listerine breath strips, keys, and a Gucci money clip and shoves everything in a tiny Fendi clutch. Exterior, New York City by day. The girls, looking flawless, fold their legs into taxis and town cars as Andy trots down the street and into the subway. Interior, office building lobby by day. Andy strides into an office building, confident. A guard stops her, indicates she sign his clipboard, and she signs in.
What floor is Elias Clark? Human Resources?
The guard just looks at her. What?
Honey, you want West 57.
Exterior on 57th Street, day. Andy runs, but she's moving against the pedestrian tide. We widen out to see Andy, bucking the flow like a salmon going upstream. She gets to an intersection, starts to cross the street, and just misses being decked by a bike messenger. Exterior of Elias Clark. Andy sees a tower looming in front of her. Elias Clark. Streaming into the building are the polished girls we saw in the opening. Their heels click, clack on the concrete. They are the clackers of Elias Clark. Andy runs in. Interior of Elias Clark elevator. Andy is a shrub in a clacker forest. One turns to another.
You look awesome today. I can't wear crop pants. I look like a whale. Oh, please. I look terrible. I almost called him fat today.
Andy looks at them, then down at herself. If they're fat, what am I? Ding! Elevator opens and Andy exits. Interior of Elias Clark Human Resources offices. Andy sits across from Sherry, 40s. On the wall are covers from the Elias Clark magazines. A news magazine, a cooking magazine, a fitness magazine, and Runway. Andy is unloading clips from her horrible briefcase.
This article was about the Take Back the Night March. This was a 4-part series on the impact of busing on the public schools.
Sherry holds up her finger to stop Andy from talking.
I have 2 positions available. One is assistant to the road test editor of the Auto Universe magazine.
And the other one?
Interior, runway reception area. Sleek, elegant, hard-edged, chic. Behind the reception desk is an elegant logo that says Runway. Andy walks over.
Hi, I have an appointment with Emily Charlton.
Andrea Sachs.
Andy turns and sees a taller, thinner, and amazingly more groomed clacker. This is Emily. She looks the part of the sleek fashionista, but is propelled by a core of barely tamped down anxiety. She examines Andy.
Human Resources certainly has a bizarre sense of humor. Follow me.
Interior, runway hallway. Emily briskly walks Andy down the hall.
Okay, so was Miranda's second assistant, but her first assistant recently got promoted, so now I'm the first.
Andy glimpses an office in front of them, seductively bright.
And you're replacing yourself?
I'm trying. Miranda sacked the last 2 girls on after only a few weeks. We need to find someone who can survive here. Do you understand?
Yes, of course. Who's Miranda?
Oh my God, I would pretend you did not just ask me that. She is the editor-in-chief of Runway, not to mention a legend. Work a year for her and you can get a job with any magazine you want. 1 million girls would kill for this job.
Sounds great. I'd love to be considered.
She smiles. Emily tries to think how to break it to her.
Andrea, Runway is a fashion magazine, and interest in fashion is crucial.
What makes you think I don't have an interest in fashion?
Emily gives her a look. Andy smiles like she has no idea what Emily could mean. Suddenly, Emily's BlackBerry goes off. She gasps.
Oh my God. No, 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 no!
What's wrong?
Exterior of Elias Clark. A black sedan pulls up to a sudden stop outside the building. Interior, the runway bullpen. Emily begins rapid-fire dialing 4-digit extensions.
She's on her way. Tell everyone.
Just then, a dapper man of about 30 walks briskly by.
I thought she was coming at 9.
Yes, well, her driver text message and her facialist ruptured a disc. Called these people.
Nigel turns and sees Andy. Looks at Emily. Who is that?
That I can't even talk about.
No time to discuss. Nigel calls down the hallway.
All right, everyone, man your battle stations. Did someone eat an onion bagel?
Behind him, Andy tries not to look guilty. Exterior of Elias Clark. The sedan door opens. We see only flashes of Miranda, what she's wearing, not the complete picture yet. Manolos, Chanel jacket, Van Cleef earrings. Interior of the runway bullpen. Assistants are frantically pushing clothing rails out of the way. Editors race into their office. Andy peers in. One of the editors changes from kitten heels to sky-high stilettos. Another pulls on a body shaper under her dress. Another hurriedly dumps the remains of her breakfast, some cubes of cantaloupe, into the trash. Interior of Elias Clark lobby. We watch Miranda walking through the lobby. We see people react to her. Guards, assistants, and secretaries cower. Distinguished executives bow their heads in a respectful greeting. Miranda maintains a high rate of speed toward the elevator. She gets in. The clacker inside immediately leaps out.
Oh, sorry, Miranda.
Miranda does not acknowledge her existence. Interior of the runway bullpen. Emily races to the kitchen right near the bullpen, gets a glass, reaches into the fridge, pours a Pellegrino, races into Miranda's office, races back out, grabs an armful of magazines and newspaper from her desk, and runs back into Miranda's office. Interior, runway reception area. Miranda steps out of the elevator, and for the first time, we see her head on. Miranda's look is so distinctive you can spot her a mile away. She is unlike any other beautiful woman, singularly Miranda. Interior of the runway bullpen. Emily types frantically into her computer, presses print, stands by the printer waiting, takes the paper out of the printer, puts it on a clipboard, and notices Andy.
Oh no, you're still here. Go!
Andy gets up.
No, stay. I don't want you walking past her. Just sit there and I'll pray she doesn't notice you're marring the area.
Andy sits back down.
Wow, this is like self-esteem camp.
The rest of the office continues its hubbub. Interior of the runway hallway. Until the moment Miranda enters the office from reception. Instantly, a quiet falls. Everyone looks calm and professional, or fakes it. Emily, phony smile on her face, trots down the hall to walk Miranda to her office.
I don't understand why it's so difficult to confirm appointments.
I'm so sorry, Miranda. I did confirm last night, but...
Details of your incompetence do not interest me.
Miranda gestures impatiently. Emily hands her the clipboard. Miranda peruses it as they walk down the hall.
Tell Simone I'm not going to approve that girl she sent me for the Brazilian layout. I asked for clean, athletic smiley. She sent me tired, dirty, and paunchy. And
Emily follows her.
And RSVP yes to the Michael Kors party. I want the driver to drop me off at 9:30 and pick me up at 9:45 sharp. Then call Natalie at Glorious Foods and tell her no for the 40th time. No, I don't want taquas. I want torts with warm rhubarb compote. Then call my ex-husband and remind him the parent-teacher conferences are at Dalton tonight. Then call my husband and ask him to please meet me at dinner at the place I went with Massimo.
Right.
Also, tell Richard I saw all the pictures for that feature on female paratroopers, and all of them are so deeply unattractive. Is it impossible to find a lovely, slender paratrooper? Am I reaching for the stars here? Not really. Also, I need to see all the things Nigel's pulled for Gwyneth's second cover try. I wonder if she's lost any of that weight yet. Who's that?
Miranda stops at Emily's desk, takes off her coat, dumps it on Emily's desk, walks past Andy, seeming not to notice her, but damn, did notice her. Emily follows Miranda.
Nobody. Human Resources sent her up the assistant job, and I was pre-interviewing for you, but...
Well, clearly, I'm going to have to do that myself. The last two you sent me were completely inadequate, so send her in. That's
Interior of the runway bullpen. Emily walks out of Miranda's office and points at Andy.
See you. Go, go, go.
And before Andy walks in, Emily takes Andy's hideous briefcase and chucks it under a desk.
This is foul. Don't let us see it.
Interior of runway, Miranda's office. Andy walks in. Miranda's office is chic, clean, walls lined with photos by Avedon, Penn, Testino, and Meisel. We see large framed photos of Miranda, her husband Stephen, and her twin girls, Cassidy and Caroline, in the Hamptons. The iced Pellegrino sits on a coaster on the desk. A pile of magazines is fanned out precisely on a table.
Who are you?
Andy hands a resume to Miranda, and Miranda ignores it.
My name is Andy Sachs. I recently graduated from Northwestern.
What are you doing here?
I think I could do a good job as your assistant, and
Miranda gives her a look.
I came to New York to be a journalist, and I sent letters to everyone, and I finally got a call from Elias Clark and met with Sherry in Human Resources, and basically it's this or Auto Universe.
Andy stops. Cannot quite believe she said that. Miranda takes in this burst of honesty.
So you don't read Runway?
No.
And before today, you had never heard of me?
No.
And you have no style or sense of fashion?
Well, that depends on...
No. That wasn't a question.
I was the editor-in-chief of the Daily Northwestern. I won a national competition for college journalists with a series on the Janitors Union.
Miranda holds up her hand.
That's all.
Andy, startled by the abruptness, keeps talking.
That uncovered the exploitation of...
Miranda stares. Andy abruptly stops talking, heads for the door, then she stops and turns.
Okay, you're right. I don't fit in here. I'm not glamorous or skinny, and I don't know much about fashion, but I'm smart. I learn fast, and I will work very hard.
And Miranda says nothing. Just then we hear a voice, someone heading into Miranda's office.
We got the exclusive on the yellow cavalli for Gwyneth, the one he showed with the huge feathered headpiece. But she'll look like she's working the main stage at the Golden Nugget. So instead...
Nigel stops when he sees Andy.
Thank you for your time.
She summons all her dignity and exits, walking past Nigel, who looks at Miranda.
Who is that sad little person? Are we doing a before and after I didn't know about?
Interior of Elias Clark lobby. Andy staggers out of the elevator, catching her breath. Suddenly, she hears someone calling.
Andrea.
Andy turns and sees Emily.
All right, I'm narrating for any scene that Nate is in. So, interior Nate's restaurant night. Nothing fancy. The kind of place that refills your Sprite. Andy is with two of her friends, Doug and Lily. Doug is built like a linebacker and very sweet. That's code for gay. And her boyfriend Nate. Great looking, no vanity. He's the kind of guy who's had his own radio show in college and played intramural rugby.
Redouche.
Yeah, redouche. It's the end of Nate's shift, and he's wearing his kitchen whites. There are just a few people left in the restaurant and at the bar.
Wow. You got a job at a fashion magazine. Was it a phone interview?
Andy laughs and smacks him playfully.
Don't be a jerk.
Well, Miranda Priestley is famous for being unpredictable.
Okay, how is it that you know who she is and I didn't?
I'm actually a girl.
That explains so much.
Seriously, Miranda is a huge deal. I bet 1 million girls would kill for that job.
Yeah, it's just that I'm not one of them.
You have to start somewhere. Look, this dump Nate works in, paper napkins, hello.
And Lily works at that gallery doing, what the hell is it that you do?
Well, lucky for me, I have my dream job.
You're a corporate research analyst.
Which totally rocks. The free bagels on Thursday, the booze, the whores. Okay, you're right. There's no bagels and only a few whores. My job totally sucks.
Exterior Nate's restaurant, street, night. The pavement is shiny from a recent rain. It's a chilly night in March. Andy and Nate walk home.
You should see the way the girls dress at Runway. I'm not sure I have anything to wear to work.
You're going to be answering phones and getting coffee. You need a ball gown for that.
I think I might.
I think you look great. Always.
She smiles. He pulls her in.
You are so full of it.
He laughs and kisses her.
Come on. Let's go home. I can think of something you can do without clothes.
Just then, a Lincoln Town car comes barreling up the street, going way too fast, almost clipping them.
Asshole!
He and Andy give the car the finger, laughing.
Interior of Andy and Nate's apartment. Small with a view of an air shaft. The bed's a futon. On the floor, Andy and Nate are asleep. Dim light trickles in. Nate wakes up, pulls Andy closer, and soon they're kissing. Their kisses become more urgent, and suddenly Andy's cell phone rings, shrill, annoyingly upbeat. She feels around, finding the phone.
Hello? Now?
She looks over at the alarm clock, which reads 6:15 a.m. Interior of Runway at dawn. Emily is in the office.
Miranda decided to kill the autumn jacket story for September. She's pulling up the Sedona shoot from October. You need to go into the office right this second. Pick up her coffee order on the way. Write this down. And of course, I don't have the coffee order.
Interior of Andy's apartment, morning. Andy has tried on every bit of clothing she owns. There's a huge discard pile on the floor, and her closet is empty. She looks at her outfit in the mirror and is promptly overcome by a wave of self-hatred. No time to fix it. Exterior of Starbucks by day. Andy, carrying a Starbucks tray loaded with coffee, drinks, and snacks, races up the street, sloshing coffee on her shoes. Her phone rings.
Where are you?
I'm almost there.
She runs faster. Interior of Runway reception. Andy steps out of one elevator as Nigel exits the other. A beat. He realizes.
No.
Yeah, she gave me the job.
Clearly, my opinion means nothing. Nigel Kipling, fashion director. Clearly. Let's see what we're working with. Wow, it's like Oklahoma and New Jersey had a baby out of wedlock.
Actually, I'm from Cincinnati.
No, it's not possible. Not you.
As Andy heads off down the hall.
Welcome to the dollhouse, baby.
Interior of Runway, Miranda's office by day. Miranda is standing by the door to her office as Lucia, a beautiful Brazilian woman who is one of the senior editors, walks in with a couple of fashion assistants.
Is there a reason why my coffee isn't here yet? Has she died or something?
Emily looks panicked. Interior of the runway bullpen. Andy is racing down the hall, carrying the coffee to the bullpen. Before Andy can even say hello.
I hope you know this is a very difficult job for which you are totally wrong, and if you mess up, my head is on the chopping block.
Emily takes the coffee, brings it into Miranda's office, and walks back out to her desk.
Okay, first of all, you and I answer the phones. The phone must be answered every single time it rings. Phones roll to voicemail. She gets very upset. If I'm not here, Andrea, if I'm not here, you are chained to this desk.
What if the building's on fire or my appendix explodes or something?
What? Well, one time an assistant left the desk because she sliced a hand open with a letter opener, and Miranda missed Karl Lagerfeld right before he boarded a 17-hour flight to Australia. She now works at TV Guide.
And the desks at all times. Got it.
The phone rings, and Emily picks it up.
That's my idea. Okay. Miranda Priestley's office? No, she's not available. Yes, I'll tell her you called yet again. Remember, you and I have totally different jobs. You run errands, you get coffee, while I am in charge of her schedule, her expenses, and her appointments, and most importantly, I get to go with her to Paris in the fall for Fashion Week.
Emily points to her Arc de Triomphe screensaver.
I get to wear couture, go to all the shows, all the parties, meet all the designers. It's divine. Okay, stay here. I'm going to the art department to give them the book.
Emily shows Andy a very thick scrapbook.
The book is a mock-up of everything in the current issue. We deliver it to Miranda's apartment every night. She returns it in the morning with her notes. The second assistant is supposed to do it, but Miranda is very private and doesn't like strangers going to her house. So until she decides you're not a complete psycho, I get the lovely task of waiting around for the book.
How do I prove I'm not a psycho?
I have no idea.
And with that, Emily pivots and walks away. Andy looks around, unsure.
Wait, what do I do if...
Deal with it.
Emily keeps walking. Sure enough, the phone rings, and Andy looks at it.
Oh no. Mrs. Priestley's office? That's what I meant. Miranda Priestley's office.
She searches around for a pen.
She's in a meeting. Can I take a message? I'm sorry. Can you spell Gabbana? Guess not.
She hangs up, takes a breath. Okay, got through one call. Just then, Jocelyn, the attractively tomboyish accessories editor, walks out of Miranda's office.
Run through at 3, shoot at 8 a.m. tomorrow. Of course, no problem.
Jocelyn glares at Andy.
Who the hell does she think I am? Houdini?
Hi, I'm Andy. I'm the new...
Great, fantastic. If you'll excuse me, I gotta go pull a bunch of fringe purses out of my ass.
Andy turns and sees Nigel walking down the hall carrying a pair of stunning Dolce slingbacks. He holds out the shoes.
I guessed. 8.5.
That's very nice of you, but I don't need those. Miranda hired me. She knows what I look like.
Do you?
Emily.
We hear Miranda clearly. She's not yelling. She never yells.
Emily.
She means you. Go.
Andy takes a deep breath. Interior of runway, Miranda's office. Andy appears in the door. Miranda is talking to Paul, the art director, who is showing her a layout.
It's too dark. I can't see any of the clothes.
I think he intended to use shadow to show the contours of the...
And what is this? I want the title of the layout to bleed over the left side of the photo.
I see. Well, we'll need room for the typeface to pick up the lines of the dress, which is cut on the bias. So if we...
No. That's not what I wanted. I couldn't make it more abundantly clear.
Miranda looks up and sees Andy.
There you are, Emily. How many times do I have to scream your name?
Actually, it's Andy.
Miranda gives Andy a look, and Andy notices she's brought the room to a screeching halt.
My name is Andrea, but people call me Andy.
What a fantastic story. So entertaining and full of useful information.
Miranda looks at her and smiles, but terrifying.
I need 10 or 15 skirts from Calvin Klein.
What kind of...
Please bore someone else with your questions. Make sure we get Pier 59 at 8 a.m. tomorrow. And remind Jocelyn I want to see a few of those satchels Mark is doing in the pony. And tell Simone I'll take Jackie if Maggie is not available tomorrow. Did Demarchelier confirm? Demarchelier. Get him on the phone.
As Andy leaves,
And Emily?
Andy turns.
Yes.
And Miranda doesn't say anything. Just looks at Andy's shoes, then back up at Andy. Her message, unmistakable.
That's all.
Interior of the runway office bullpen. Andy flies out of Miranda's office, races over to the desk, pulls on the Dolces. Miranda immediately calls out.
Do you have Demarchelier?
Andy tries to look up the name in the address book on the computer.
Oh, yay. Demarchelier.
Just then, Emily appears behind Andy and dials the phone.
I have Miranda Priestley calling. I have Patrick.
She flips the call to Miranda, then turns to Andy, who's slightly panicked.
She called me in and asked me something about Pier 59. She said something about Simone and Frankie and someone else. And she needs skirts from Calvin Klein. I think that's the most important thing, but I couldn't tell. And there's something about a pony.
Did she say which skirts? Did she say what kind? Color? Fabric? Shape?
I tried to ask her, but...
You may never ask Miranda anything, ever. All right, I'll take care of the other stuff. You go to Calvin Klein.
Me?
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you have a prior commitment? Some hideous skirt convention.
So I just, go down to Calvin Klein and ask...
Emily rolls her eyes so hard they almost eject from her head.
You're not going to the store.
Of course not. I'm going to his house.
You are catching on quickly. We always send designers to assistants to a designer's home on the very first day. You're going to his showroom. I'll give you the address.
Sorry. Got it. What's the nearest subway stop?
Good God. You do not, under any circumstances, take public transportation.
On Andy. I don't. Exterior of Elias Clark by day. Andy steps out, sees a black Lincoln town car. She smiles. Exterior of Elias Clark and interior of the town car. Andy rides uptown. She looks around. The magazines, the tiny bottles of water, the little dishes of candy. The driver, Roy, looks at her in the mirror.
Miranda's new assistant. Congrats.
Thanks.
Andy takes some candy.
You know.
You're going to say 1 million girls would kill for my job.
Actually, I was gonna say those jelly beans are like 7 years old.
Andy puts the candy back. Exterior of Calvin Klein's showroom by day. Andy looks up at the showroom. Her phone rings again.
Are you there?
I'm about to walk in. I'll call you as soon as...
Click. Her phone immediately rings again.
I was going to try and do ringtone, but I guess that's not going to work. Okay.
Great ring.
While you're out, Miranda needs you to go to MA's and pick up 25 scarves we ordered for her. Cassidy forgot her homework at Dalton. You'll need to go pick that up. And Miranda went out to meet with Mizell, and she will want more Starbucks when she gets back. Hot Starbucks.
Click. Interior of the Calvin Klein showroom by day. Liz, the sales rep, brings out a rack of skirts for Andy.
You must be new. Congratulations. People would kill for your job. I would. I love Miranda. She's such an icon. I've dealt with her a couple of times, but I'm sure she doesn't remember.
Just then, Andy's phone rings.
What do they have?
Andy looks at the racks, searching for the right terminology.
There's a variety of skirts. Let's see.
Liz mouths, "Is that her?" And Andy nods. Liz smiles.
Who's there? Who are you dealing with?
I'm sorry, what's your name?
Liz!
It's Liz.
Get away from her. She's useless and unattractive. Ask for Ivan. Tell him we're doing a reshoot tomorrow and need at least 10 skirts.
Click. Andy looks at Liz.
What did she say?
Is Ivan in by chance?
I'll get him.
Interior of the runway bullpen by day. Andy walks in, laden with stuff and more coffee and snacks. Emily springs up.
Oh my God, what took you so long? I have to pee.
Pete, since I left?
Just then, Miranda walks through, dumps her coat on Andy's desk, and walks into her office.
You do the coat. Do the coat.
She points to the closet. Andy quickly hangs up the coat.
Now be prepared. The run-through is at 12:30 and people are panicking, so the phone is going to be ringing off the hook.
The run through. Right.
Clearly, she has no idea what a run-through is.
The editors bring in options for a shoot and Miranda chooses. She chooses every single thing in every single issue. Run-throughs are a huge deal.
And indeed, Andy can see editors running in and out of their offices, rack of clothes and accessories flying.
Is it always like this?
No, sometimes it's busy.
Just then, the tallest, thinnest, and most intimidating clacker, the severely dressed, highly snobby Serena, walks over.
After the lose, Serena and I are going to lunch. This is her, this is the new me.
Serena eyes Andy with disbelief.
I told you.
Thought you were kidding.
Oh no, I was quite serious.
Emily turns to Andy.
You get 20 minutes for lunch, you get 15. When I come back, you can go.
As Andy watches Emily and Serena's thin hips as they move down the hall, talking about how absurd Andy looks.
Kelsi, you got a line.
Yeah, no shit. You eat lunch?
That's a really weird question. Hey, oh shit, you eat lunch?
Oh, hey!
Interior of the Elias Clark cafeteria by day. A pasta bar, which is deserted. And a pizza station, not a damn soul. A salad bar, girls crowding the lettuce area, though no one's within a mile of the dressing region. Andy races over to the deserted soup station, quickly ladles some corn chowder into a bowl, and Nigel walks by with his tray.
Corn chowder. Interesting choice.
Andy looks at him, confused.
You do know that cellulite is one of the ingredients of corn chowder.
They walk over to the register, which has a long line. A few girls are openly gaping, amazed that Andy has selected corn chowder.
None of the girls here eat anything?
Not since 2 became the new 4 and 0 became the new 2.
I'm a 6.
Which is the new 14.
Andy dips a piece of bread in her chowder and eats it. Seeing this, 2 of the clackers gasp in horror. Then Andy notices that she's dripped on her blouse and she dabs it.
Something tells me you've got more polyblend where that came from.
Okay. You think my clothes are hideous. I get it. But I'm not going to be working in fashion forever. I don't see any reason to change everything about myself because I have this job.
You're right. That's what this multi-million-dollar institution is all about. Inner beauty.
Just then, Nigel's phone rings. He picks up and listens.
Miranda wants us upstairs. Chairman's on his way down to her office.
Close up on Andy's corn chowder and Nigel's salad being chucked into the garbage. Interior of the Elias Clark elevator. Andy and Nigel get in, and Irv Ravitz is already writing up. Nigel nods, deferential.
Mr. Ravitz,
Nigel, issue going well?
our biggest September ever.
Great. So I heard Miranda killed the autumn jackets and pulled up the Sedona shoot. What's that costing me?
About 300,000.
Must have been some lousy jackets. But I'm sure she knows what she's doing.
Always.
Irv glances over at Andy and offers his hand.
Irv Ravitz.
I'm sorry. This is Andy Sachs, Miranda's new assistant.
Congratulations, young lady. Million girls would kill for that job.
The elevator opens, and Irv nods to Nigel and exits.
Chairman of Elias Clark. You know what they say, tiny man, huge ego. We should have taken the stairs.
Interior of runway, Miranda's office. Accessories are spread out on the floor in basket trays. Clothes are on racks. Miranda is clicking through the racks.
No, and I've seen all this before. Where are all the other dresses? It's just baffling to me. Why is it so impossible to put together a decent run through? You people have had hours and hours to prepare. It's just so confusing to me. Where are all the advertisers?
Well, we have some pieces from Banana Republic, and
Well, we need more of them, don't we? This might be. Oh,
Miranda holds up a skirt and shows it to Nigel.
Well, this might be. What do you think of?
You know me, a full ballerina skirt with a hint of saloon, and I'm on board.
But is it too much like...
LaCroix from July? I thought of that, but with the right accessories, it could work.
Miranda nods. He's right, of course.
Where are the belts for this skirt? Why is no one ready?
Jocelyn races over and holds up 2 belts. Miranda studies them. Andy looks up at them too. To us and to her, they look exactly the same.
Speak for yourself, they were way different.
tough call. They're so different.
Andy lets out a tiny giggle, and it's like she set off a grenade. Slowly, everyone turns to her.
Is something funny?
No, it's just.
And Miranda says nothing. Andy twists in the wind.
It's just that both of those belts look the same to me. I'm still learning about this stuff. So.
The silence is deafening. Everyone looks to see what Miranda will do.
This stuff? Oh, okay. I see. You think this has nothing to do with you. You go to your closet and you select, I don't know, that lumpy blue sweater, for instance, because you're trying to tell the world that you take yourself too seriously to care about what you put on your back. But what you don't know is that sweater is not just blue, it's not turquoise, it's not lapis, it's actually cerulean. And you're also blindly unaware of the fact that in 2002, Oscar de la Renta did a collection of cerulean gowns. And then I think it was Yves Saint Laurent, wasn't it, who showed cerulean military jackets. I think we need a jacket here. And then cerulean quickly showed up in the collections of 8 different designers. And then it filtered down through the department stores and then trickled on down into some tragic casual corner where you no doubt fished it out of some clearance bin. However, that blue represents millions of dollars and countless jobs, and it's sort of comical how you think that you've made a choice that exempts you from the fashion industry when in fact you're wearing a sweater that was selected for you by the people in this room from a pile of stuff.
She smiles at Andy, who quakes.
Interior, Andy and Nate's apartment, night. On Andy at home pacing. She changes out of her work clothes into sweats while Nate makes what looks like to be the tastiest grilled cheese. That is, okay, this
the
thing
most
right here.
delicious grilled cheese.
It's a great grilled cheese.
Ever.
Yes.
It was all right. Stop it.
Thank you.
Cool it,
Thank
Miranda.
It was all right.
It was great.
Go ahead, Kels.
You should have seen the look she gave me. I thought the flesh was going to melt off her face.
Nate laughs.
Not funny. It could be. It's not funny. She could be the most horrendous person I've ever met. She's not happy unless everyone around her is panicked, nauseous, or suicidal, and all the clackers just worship her. They call them clackers. They're stilettos in the marble lobby. They just click, 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 click.
She pulls an ancient Northwestern sweatshirt over her head. She starts eating the grilled cheese, gesturing angrily with it as she talks.
And they act like they're curing cancer or something. The amount of time and energy they spend on things that don't matter. Poring over these minute details, and for what? So tomorrow they can spend an extra $300,000 reshooting something that was probably fine to begin with to sell some people things that they don't need.
She puts down the sandwich.
God, I'm not even hungry anymore. Maybe that's why everyone is so skinny.
What? Give me that. There's about $8 worth of Jarlsberg in there.
He takes the sandwich, takes a bite.
I just have to stick it out for 1 year. Then I can do what I came to New York to do. I can't let Miranda get to me. I won't.
Easy, killer.
Give me that sandwich.
Oh, no way. This is mine now.
She grabs it away from him. He chases her, trying to get it back. Music up. The work montage. I don't have music for this.
Interior of the runway, bullpen by day. Miranda walked past Andy, and Andy puts her best face on.
Good morning, Miranda.
Thwack! Miranda's coat lands on Andy's desk.
Get me Isaac.
We see Andy look through the computerized address book, find the number. Thwack! Another coat lands on Andy's desk. Interior of runway, Miranda's office. Miranda pushes her plate of scrambled eggs across the desk.
I don't see my breakfast here. Where are my eggs?
Exterior of diner, street by day. Cut to Andy runs out of the diner sprinting, holding Miranda's eggs. Interior of the runway, bullpen by day. Another coat.
Pick up the Polaroids from the lingerie shoot.
Interior of the studio by day. Andy opens the door onto a narrow room filled with semi-naked women changing into bikinis. Someone points Andy toward the stylist on the other side. She picks her way across, trying not to stare, and in an effort to avoid brushing against a body part, she veers into a rack of clothing, sending it clattering into the wall. Interior of the runway bullpen, thwack! Another coat.
Have the brakes checked on my car.
Exterior of the street by day. Andy, driving a Porsche up the street, brakes squealing, and she's terrified. Interior of the runway bullpen by day. Thwack! Another coat.
Where is that piece of paper I had in my hand yesterday morning?
Exterior of Bryant Park. We see Andy carrying a hat, a funny, over-the-top concoction. At least 30 inches tall, perhaps with a taxidermied bird in it or something like that. People stare. Interior of the runway bullpen, thwack! Another coat.
Girls need new surfboards or boogie boards or something for spring break.
Andy walking down the street with 2 custom painted boogie boards under her arm. Andy's phone rings and she picks it up.
They also need flip-flops.
Andy does a 180 with the boogie boards, almost decking some people. Interior of the runway bullpen, thwack! Another coat.
Pick up my shoes from Blahnik and then go get Patricia.
Exterior of the street. Cut to Andy carrying a huge Blahnik bag filled with shoe boxes. Interior of the runway, Miranda's office.
Jump to the next one. We did that one.
widen out to reveal she's not only carrying the luggage, she's also fighting Patricia, a St. Bernard on a leash. Interior of the runway bullpen, whack! Another coat, and another, and another, and another. Andy is at her desk, exhausted, head in hands.
Get me the Marseillais.
This time, without consulting the Rolodex or even lifting her head much, Andy dials the number by heart.
Beep, beep, beep. I have Isaac.
Widen out to see Emily.
Wow. Thank God it's Friday, huh?
Emily ignores her, busy assembling a stack of lookbooks to return to the art department.
Hold, please. My dad's coming in from Ohio this weekend. We're having dinner tonight, and then we're seeing Chicago.
Emily says nothing.
Are you doing anything fun this weekend?
Yes.
Emily walks away. Exterior of Andy and Nate's apartment at the evening. We see Andy's dad, Richard, distinguished, if a few pounds overweight, is ringing the doorbell to Andy's apartment, and Andy calls down.
Dad, I'll be right down.
Interior of an upscale restaurant at night. Andy and her dad are at an upscale, quiet restaurant. He hands her an envelope.
Here, don't want you to get behind on your rent.
How did you? I'm gonna kill Mom. Thank you.
She tucks it into her purse, and they smile at each other.
It's so good to see you. You want to start grilling me now, or should we wait till after dinner?
Well, I thought I'd at least let you enjoy the breadbasket first.
Oh, just go ahead.
We're just a little worried. We get emails from you, from your office at 2 a.m. Your pay is terrible. You don't get to write anything.
Hey, not fair. I wrote those emails.
Look, I'm just trying to understand why someone who is accepted to Stanford Law turns it down to be a journalist, and you're not even doing that.
Oh, please, not this again.
Why did you even bother applying to law school?
Because it's what you wanted. This is what I want.
This, being a secretary?
I'm an executive assistant.
You hang coats, you go to Starbucks. You're a secretary, Andy.
You have to trust me. Being Miranda's assistant opens a lot of doors. Emily is going to Paris with Miranda in a few months. She'll meet editors and writers from very important magazines.
But Richard still looks dubious.
Dad, I swear. This is my break. This is my chance. This is my...
Just then, the cell phone rings, and Andy looks down at it.
Boss.
Richard looks at her.
I have to get it.
Andy picks up her cell phone. Interior of Miami International Airport by night. Miranda is surrounded by crowds heading home for the weekend.
My flight is canceled. It's some absurd weather problem. I need to get home tonight. The twins have a recital at school tomorrow morning.
Interior of the upscale restaurant. Richard looks at Andy.
Absolutely, Miranda. Let me see what I can do.
She hangs up and looks at Richard.
I'm so sorry, Dad. I have to deal with this.
Exterior of the street by night. Quick cuts of Andy on the cell phone as she and Richard walk through Times Square.
I need to get a jet from Miami to New York. A jet. Any kind of jet. Yes, tonight. Right now. From Miami to New York. As soon as possible. Please call me back as soon as the situation changes. I'm trying, Miranda. No one is flying out because of the weather.
Throughout, Andy gestures to her dad. I'm sorry, this will just take a second. Interior of Miami International Airport at night. Miranda looks out the window at the squall.
Please, it's just, I don't know, drizzling. Someone
Thunder.
getting out. Thank you. Someone
Got you.
Someone must be getting out. Call Donatella and get her jet. Call everyone with a jet. But this is your job. This is your responsibility. Get me home.
Yeah, but
Miranda hangs up.
She hung up on my makeup.
Exterior of the theater by night. Few minutes later, Andy stands there clutching her phone and thinking.
Andy, come on, let's go in.
I've done everything I could think of. I don't know what else to do.
And Andy's phone rings again. Richard looks at her.
I'm sorry, Dad. Miranda, you don't understand. Even if I get you a plane, they won't let you take off tonight and...
Emily, stop making excuses. Get me home.
She hangs up.
Oh my God. She's gonna murder me.
Would it help if I talk to her?
Fuck no.
No, not at all.
Runway, Miranda's office by day. Andy stands in front of Miranda's desk, cowed.
Moon.
The girl.
Damn it!
Got her.
Got him.
Anywho, the girls' recital was wonderful. They played Rachmaninoff and everyone loved it. Everyone except for me, because sadly I was not there.
I'm so sorry, Miranda.
Miranda turns away from the window to look at Andy.
Do you know why I hired you?
Andy shakes her head, and Miranda turns to face her.
I always hire the same girl. Stylish, slender, of course. Worships the magazine, and often they turn out to be disappointing and stupid.
Andy blanches.
But you, with your impressive resume and the big speech about your so-called worth ethic, I thought you would be different. I said to myself, go ahead, take a chance, hire the smart fat girl.
Andy's eyes widen. She's not even remotely fat, of course.
I had hope. It's what I live by. But I think you've disappointed me more than the other silly girls.
I did everything I could think of.
That's all.
And she goes back to her work. Andy stands there a second, immediately, and then leaves, and we see her eyes start to well. Interior of the runway bullpen, Andy comes out of the office biting back tears. She immediately starts running down the hall.
Save the tears for your pillow.
Excuse me, where do you think you...
Andy keeps running. Interior of Nigel's office by day. Andy walks in very upset, and Nigel looks up, surprised.
She hates me, Nigel.
And that's my problem because, wait, no, not my problem.
I need your help. I don't know what to do. It's like I'm completely beneath her contempt.
So quit.
He looks at him.
What?
We could replace you in 5 minutes with someone who really wants this job.
That's not fair. I'm lucky to be working for Miranda. I didn't get that at first, but I do now. I want to be here, but it just seems like no matter how hard I try, I don't do anything right.
Andy, please, be serious. You're not trying. You're whining.
She looks shocked.
You want me to say, poor you, Miranda's picking on you. She's just doing her job. Wake up, 6. You're working at the place that first published some of the major artists of the century, Holsten, De Laurentiis, Lagerfeld. And what they made is cooler than art because you live your life in it. I mean, not you, but some people. This is not just a magazine. It's a shining beacon of hope for, oh, I don't know, say a young boy growing up in Rhode Island with 6 brothers pretending to go to soccer practice when he was actually at sewing class and reading Runway at Night under the covers with a flashlight.
He picks up steam as he talks.
You have no idea how many legends have walked these halls, and what's worse, you don't care because this is a stepping stone for you. This place that people would die to work. You deign to work. And you want to know why she doesn't give you a kiss on the forehead and put a gold star on your homework?
Okay, fine.
He looks at her.
You're right. I'm screwing this up. And I know this could be a big break for me. I'm going to try harder, I promise. But there's one thing I can't do by myself.
She looks at him, and he realizes what she's asking.
Oh, no way.
You do it with the other girls.
The other girls are different. They really want it.
Please, Nigel, don't make me beg.
He looks at her, thinking. Interior of the runway closet by day. Nigel swings open the door to a large room piled high with shoes, bags, clothes, furs, jewelry. Andy follows, looking around at everything.
I don't know what you expect me to do. These are all sample sizes, 2 and 4.
He thinks, hands her an item.
A poncho?
You'll take what I give you and you'll like it.
He looks around, assessing everything with a practiced eye. Then he starts flinging clothes at Andy.
Versace peasant skirts. We can pull it up, belt it, make it into a dress. Muy boyfriend cardigan. Alberta Ferretti dress. Smocked. Very forgiving. And let's find some Chanel. You are in desperate need of Chanel.
As she catches the clothing.
Don't just stand there. We have to get you to the beauty department too, and God knows how long that'll take.
Interior of the runway bullpen. Emily is talking to Serena.
I have no idea why Miranda hired her.
Oh, that's me. Hey.
Yeah.
Me neither. The other day we were in the beauty department and she held up the shoe and something's eyelash.
Imora. Shoe Imora.
Shoe Imora eyelash curler and said, "What is this?"
They laugh
Stupid bitch.
at the total absurdity of this.
Mostly at the absurdity of Jinger.
I swear, I knew from the moment Miranda hired her that she was going to be a complete and utter
And suddenly, Andy appears in her gorgeous clothes, her makeup impeccable, hair soft, loose, and pretty. She looks grown up, sexy, and above all, sophisticated.
Oh my God, this transformation. Holy crap.
Come on, quick change.
Disaster.
I got naked.
Andy sits down at her desk, pretends she didn't hear her. Emily is still staring, and Andy's phone rings.
Miranda Priest's office. She's not in. I'll leave word.
She hangs up. Emily is still gaping.
Can I help
Title
you?
of her sex tape.
She is gagging.
All right. Exterior Nate's restaurant night. Andy waits for Nate outside his restaurant in the alley. He walks out bantering with a couple of other cooks, something about some guy slicing a finger. He starts to walk away, going right past Andy, stops, walks back a few steps. He looks her up and down, stunned.
What do you think?
I think we better get out of here before my girlfriend sees me with you.
She smiles, grabs his hand, and walks him down the alley to where her town car is waiting.
Is she fancy now? Want to lift, stranger?
Right, look
Music.
around.
We ain't playing Vogue because I don't want to get hit with a copyright suit.
Music up, playing Vogue on the makeover montage. Exterior of Andy and Nate's apartment by day. We see Andy exit her apartment wearing a fabulous outfit. She walks behind a newsstand, emerging from the other side in a completely different, fabulous outfit.
Not doing all those
Exterior of the subway. She goes into the subway, then comes out of the subway in yet another great outfit.
Oh my God.
Exterior of Starbucks. She enters Starbucks, emerges wearing another outfit, heads down the street, and walks behind a bus. Emerging from the other side in, you guessed it, another fantastic outfit. Exterior of Elias Clark. Each outfit over the course of the montage improves on the one before until we see Andy walking in the plaza of Elias Clark, indistinguishable now from all the other clackers. Interior of the runway reception. Andy walks through the reception area, walks behind a wall, and continues walking through the hallway in another fabulous outfit.
Ooh, yes.
Exterior
It sounds like a
of the
game show.
runway. Miranda's office.
Brand new car.
Andy enters, sets a glass of Pellegrino down on the table. Just then, Miranda enters on the cell phone.
Okay, wait, pause for just a second. How much fun would it be to do Madonna's Vogue as a quick change number? Like having all of this
Yes.
from Devil Wears Prada?
Yes.
I've wanted to do this for so long, and I'm like, I'm clearly nowhere near talented enough to quick change in drag, but I
I
need
have
somebody who has some
plenty of
talent.
cute as fuck coats that I could do.
I
I'm
feel like
just
you just
saying,
have to
like-
do like layers and layers and
Yes.
layers and layers.
Well, no,
Yeah,
but
the
like
Ivy
they have quick
Winters.
change outfits where it's like one outfit that becomes like 6 different things, and you can totally do it. It'd be like you would have to time it and practice it, and I'm lazy as fuck. But I need
We
somebody
know.
with talent to figure it out and do it. So just putting that out there, somebody needs to make this happen and tag me in it so that I can enjoy it.
Hey, Chase,
I'm
shut
in-
up.
I'm an ideas bitch. Okay, on to
It's
It's a
Miranda.
commercial. It's fine.
All right.
Miranda's on her cell.
We now return to our regularly scheduled programming. The gowns are fabulous, Ralph. We're using the burgundy for the cover try and the lemon chiffon for the goddess story.
And just then she looks up and sees Andy, the transformed Andy. And her reaction of approval is tiny, but it's there. Of course, she keeps talking like she didn't notice a thing.
Interior bar night. Andy joins her friends and Nate. I love that it's her friends and Nate.
I'm not a friend.
Yeah.
Not a friend.
She flops an expensive, fancy Bang & Olufsen phone on the table.
Bang & Olufsen. Charlie Rose sent it to Miranda for her birthday. I looked it up online. It's $750. She doesn't want it, so Emily told me to keep it. Oprah sent a present. So did Jessica Simpson and Nelson Mandela.
All for a woman who doesn't need anything. Perfect.
She reaches into her bag, hands out perfume, cosmetics, etc.
Here, a bunch of Kiehl's, some Mason Pearson hair brushes.
Damn it, I love your job.
Doug picks up one of the perfume bottles and is about to spray it on his hand when Andy stops him.
It's called Pink for Women.
Gatekeeping, bitch.
Men can be pink. I have a pink side. Don't make me bend
Oh.
over.
Please.
We're eating.
That's the line, y'all. That's not just banter.
I have to go back to work tomorrow, so please.
Oh, God. Andy hands Lily a blue purse. Lily gasps.
Where did you get this? This is the new Marc Jacobs. Sold out everywhere. It's $1,900. I cannot take this.
But Lily's already happily transferring her things from her old purse into the new one.
Sure you can.
Why the hell do women need so many bags anyway? You get one, it holds all your junk. Aren't you done?
Fashion is not about utility, Nate. It's an accessory, and it's merely a piece of iconography used to express individual identity.
And it's pretty.
That too.
Thing is, it turns out there's a lot more to Runway than fancy purses. You know who's coming into the office Friday? John Updike.
Why does he need a sweater?
Giggle.
Now
Snark.
laugh. Andy plucks the current issue of Runway out of her purse.
Look, here, there's a piece by Jay McInerney, an essay by Joan Didion, an interview with Christiane Amanpour. Oh,
Oh, look who's drinking the Kool-Aid now.
She gives him a look. Nate grabs her phone.
shit. I gotta put it back together.
He checks the name on the phone.
Give me-
Well, look, it's the Dragon Lady, of course.
Give me the phone.
Andy grabs for the phone. Nate tosses it to Lily.
Ooh, I'll talk to her. Tell her she needs to get her own scrambled eggs.
He tosses it to Doug. Andy practically tackles him and grabs the phone away.
Come on,
Hey.
guys, give me the phone.
They're all stunned by her vehemence, including Andy.
Hello, Miranda? Fine, no problem. I'm leaving right now. You guys didn't need to be such assholes.
And they are.
They are!
Complete and utter assholes.
Sorry, I'm trying to succeed in one of the most cutthroat industries in existence.
Right?
She exits and her friends all exchange an asshole look.
Would it be like this?
Oh, shit.
Oh my gosh.
All right. The exterior of James Holt's loft by night. Andy pulls up in front of a loft building in Tribeca. Interior of James Holt's loft. Andy rings the buzzer. No answer, but she can hear voices behind the door. She pushes it and it opens. Inside is a loft with a party going on. Andy looks around. It's one of those New York parties you think you'll never be invited to. She walks over to one of the super hot women.
I'm looking for James Holt.
She points to a handsome man by the window, James Holt, one of the top designers, 40s, muscular, tan, impeccable.
As I'm super pasty white and in
Perfect.
this lighting. I'm
Right.
so tan.
We're whitewashing.
Hi, I'm Andy. I'm picking up from Miranda Priestley.
You must be the new Emily. Let me see.
He checks her out, looks at her handbag.
Open woven leather, pieced by hand, finished with a suede trim. Who made this fantastic thing?
You.
Oh, duh.
He hands her a folio with a handle.
It's a sketch of Miranda's dress for the benefit, the centerpiece of my spring collection. Top secret stuff.
And Andy takes the folio.
I'll guard it with my life.
Now, come on. You work for Miranda. You must be in desperate need of hard liquor.
He walks her to the bar. She tries not to stare at the party guests. Is that Lenny Kravitz? Is that Julian Schnabel?
It was Julian Schnabel.
Thank you.
Novel. I don't know who the fuck these people are. I mean, I know Lenny Kravitz.
Thank God.
I could have said Lady Gaga.
That would have been more apropos.
Is that Lady Gaga?
There.
All right. She'll have the punch. Careful. It's deadly. Have fun.
And he walks away. Andy clutches the glass of punch.
Oh, shit, Mona's got 2 wins in a row.
It happens.
I'm Christian now, y'all. Lord Jesus, I'm Christian. All right. Thank you. I'll be here all night.
Oh my god.
He's right. I had the punch at James's last party. Woke up in Hoboken wearing nothing but boxers and a cowboy hat.
She looks over, sees a great-looking, sophisticated man in his 30s who has an air of mischief. Christian Thompson in the rainbow shirt.
Well, you know,
Hi.
one must have a hint of color.
Hi. I have to go.
But you want to stay. You've never been to a party like this.
God, I love it when total strangers tell me how I feel.
That's my way. Christian Thompson.
Christian Thompson? You're kidding. You write for every magazine I love. I actually reviewed your collection of essays for my college paper.
And I'm sure you mentioned my good looks and my killer charm.
No, but I did point out some factual errors and a penchant for confessional semi-fiction that borders on self-indulgent.
Yeah, you and the Times. So, what do you do?
Well, I want to work somewhere like the New Yorker or Vanity Fair. I'm also a writer, but...
Is that right? Well, I should read your stuff. You should send it over.
Thank you. That would be great. Anyway, for now, I'm Miranda Priestley's assistant.
And his expression immediately changes.
Oh, you're kidding. That's too bad. You'll never survive, Miranda.
Excuse me?
You're smart. You're nice. You have a point of view. You can't do that job.
Andy hands him her glass of punch.
I have to go.
She starts to leave.
Let me guess.
Pause. That was such a white lady Karen, excuse me. Oh my God.
Excuse me, I have to leave.
Excuse
I
me.
have to go. So let me guess. You have a boyfriend waiting from not high school, college. Nice looking guy, devoted, about to ask you to move in with him. You're not completely sure.
She stares at him, appalled and, intrigued.
Ugh.
You
Jesus.
Sorry.
are not a nice person.
Nice to meet you, Miranda girl.
He walks away, and steam practically pours out of Andy's ears.
For your information, he's really handsome and we
Thank you.
already live together.
This doesn't cause him to turn around, though it does cause a few other people to stare. Andy walks away embarrassed.
Please. I have no shame.
Exterior of Andy and Nate's apartment at night. Andy's walking back towards her in Nate's apartment, holding the folio. She crosses paths with Nate.
Oh my God, you got the nuclear briefcase from the undisclosed location. I'm so proud of you.
Where are you going?
Doug and some of his banker buddies are playing Texas Hold'em at his apartment. Gonna go get me some of that Wall Street cash.
But I came back so we could hang out.
Man, I'm sorry. You didn't make that crystal clear when you stormed off after calling me an asshole. I was being an asshole.
Okay. Look, I'm sorry about that, even though I'm not actually sorry because you guys were being fucks.
He gives her a kiss.
I'll see you
Sorry, not
later,
sorry.
okay?
Just then Nate's cell phone rings. Nate picks up.
Hello? Sure, Doug, I'll get on it ASAP. A 6-pack, no problem. Budweiser or Michelob? Chilled? Of course.
Andy looks at him, hand on hip, as he walks away. Very funny, asshole.
Interior of runway, Miranda's office, later that day. We see Miranda studying the sketches James sent over, spread out in the folio.
Emily.
Andy walks into Miranda's office.
Call James Holt's office. Well, tell them I want to move the preview to today at 12:30, and tell everyone else be ready to leave in half an hour.
Interior, runway, hallway by day. Nigel looks surprised.
They're not expecting us until Tuesday. Did she say why?
Yes, she explained every detail of her decision making. Then we brushed each other's hair and gabbed about American Idol.
I see your point.
Exterior of the street, day. Miranda and Andy ride along in heavy traffic. Miranda is tapping her foot, impatient.
What's a preview anyway? Because I haven't Googled this job at all in any way to know what's going on in it.
It was 2006. Give her a break.
I don't know anything in my job description. None of it.
Miranda insists on seeing all the designers' collections before they show them.
And she tells them what she thinks.
In her way, there's a scale. 1 nod, good. More than 1 nod, very good. There is only one actual smile on record. Tom Ford, 2001. Takes me back. If she doesn't like it, she shakes her head.
Interior of a town car by day. Finally, she leans forward to Henry, the driver.
Just let us out here.
She gets out and Andy scrambles to grab her stuff and follow. Interior of runway by day. Nigel shakes his head.
And then there's the pursing of the lips.
What does that mean?
Catastrophe.
Interior of James Holt's loft by day. Miranda walks in the elevator. Andy hesitates, unsure if she's permitted to be in the elevator with her. Okay, fine. Interior of James Holt's elevator. Miranda and Andy ride up together.
Last time I was here, James was having this cool party, and this is why you don't like people riding up in the elevator with you.
Miranda smiles a tight little smile. Precisely. Exterior of James Holt's loft day. Another town car pulls up, and Nigel, Lucia, Jocelyn, and some of the other runway editors and assistants pulls out. Interior of James Holt's loft. Miranda walks in. James is standing there with his staff and his public relations teams. James is clearly buzzing.
Miranda, great to see you.
Miranda diligently kisses both of his cheeks.
You got the sketches for your dress?
Yes, I did.
Beat. And she conspicuously does not say she liked them. And
Thank you.
and her tone is very remote. And now we can see James really starting to quake. Miranda arranges herself on the Mie's daybed, legs folded, ramrod straight. The other runway editors, Nigel, Jocelyn, and Lucia, and their assistants, stand behind Miranda. James and his people stand off to the side as a few fit models begin walking in and out in various outfits.
So this season, I started to think about the intersection between East and West.
No one in the room is watching anything except Miranda's reaction. As James speaks, we dissolve from outfit to outfit. James is trying desperately to impress Miranda. He's practically tap dancing.
I didn't want to do, say, a blonde in a Komodo. It's more about capturing the Eastern sensibility in the Western woman. Kind of Uma Thurman in Kill Bill in a kick-ass dress with an obi belt. You know, the modern woman as geisha meets rock star with a little Desperate Housewives thrown in.
Suddenly, there's a glimpse of movement from Miranda. Could it be a nod? Everyone holds their breath. Nah, she's just straightening her glasses.
And this, of course, is the dress that we're making for you.
An overly busy red dress with way too many fashion ideas being attempted at one time.
A lush Asian fabric, tailored, but with a bit of movement to work against the modernism.
Come on, cultural appropriation.
And suddenly, there it is.
As a treat.
Appropriately, the kiss of death. The dreaded pursing of the lips. Exterior of the street by day. The runway team files out, Miranda first. Andy and Nigel walk together.
She pursed her lips, and because of that, he's going to change his entire collection.
You still don't get it, do you? Her opinion is the only opinion that matters.
Miranda, about to get into the town car, turns to Andy.
All in confirmed dinner.
With Galliano at Pestis, done.
And I need to see the lookbook for the November denim shoot.
It's in the car.
Miranda turns to leave, pauses.
Fine. And Andrea, I'd like you to deliver the book to my house tonight. Have Emily give you the key.
Interior of runway day. Close on a key as Emily hands it to Andy.
Guard this with your life.
What is this? Lord of the Rings.
It said close.
Keep it safe.
Keep it secret,
Keep it secret, saving. Yes.
Of course. If I can deliver the book, that means I must have done something right, that she doesn't think I'm a psycho. Oh, and she actually called me Aunt Andrea instead of Emily. Isn't that great?
Yeah, whoopee. Okay, now, it's very important that you do exactly what I'm about to tell you.
Interior of the runway bullpen at night. We hear Emily's voiceover as we see this happening.
The book is assembled by 10 or 10:30, so you must wait around until then.
We see Andy waiting. The area around Miranda's office is totally quiet. Andy drifts in and looks at Miranda's office. The pictures of her with everyone from Desmond Tutu to Paris Hilton. Then Andy walks over to Miranda's pristine white couch, sits on it, because hell, why not? Lies down on it gingerly, and then
Book's ready.
and Andy startles and falls completely off the couch.
That tracks.
Interior of runway, Miranda's office at night. An editorial assistant brings Andy the book. It's heavy.
You'll be delivering Miranda's dry cleaning with the book.
We see Andy removing the dry cleaning from the closet, about a dozen garments on hangers. Exterior of the street and interior of the town car at night. Andy whisks across town. It's late. The streets are quiet.
The driver will take you to Miranda's townhouse.
Exterior of the street at night. Andy unloads the car and walks up the flight of stairs in front of the townhouse, carrying the book and dry cleaning. She takes out a key.
You let yourself in.
Andy takes a deep breath and turns the lock. Interior of the foyer at night. Andy steps into a marble-floored foyer with a large staircase looming right in front of her. Interior of the runway bullpen by day on Emily Intense.
Andrea, you do not talk to anyone. You do not look at anyone. It is of the utmost importance. You must be invisible. Do you understand?
Interior of Miranda's foyer at night. Andy steps in, her footsteps echoing through the foyer.
Open the door, walk across the foyer, then hang the dry cleaning in the closet across from the staircase.
Andy looks. There are actually two identical doors on each side of the staircase, god damn it.
Leave the book on the table with the flowers.
Andy looks. There are 1, 2, 3 tables, all in different areas of the house. She looks very confused.
Shit.
Suddenly, she hears a noise. She looks up and sees 2 girls of about 12, Cassidy and Carolyn, peering down the staircase.
It's that door on the left.
Andy hangs the dry cleaning, and the girls call down.
You can give us the book. We'll give it to her.
And Andy shakes her head, because fucking no.
Fuck that noise.
Hey, come on up.
But I
It's
can't.
okay.
And Andy,
Look up.
unsure what to do, starts to walk up the stairs. She gets about halfway up when she hears voices. Miranda and her husband, Stephen, are in the dining room, a sliver of which is visible from the foyer.
What did you want me to do? Walk out in the middle of a photo shoot?
Andy freezes.
I rushed out of an investment committee meeting early, and then I sat there waiting for you for almost an hour.
We were in a loft near the seaport. My phone didn't work. There were no signals. I told you.
And I knew what everyone in the restaurant was thinking. There he is, waiting for her again.
And as he says this, he stops, curious. There on the stairs, head peeking into the second floor, is Andy, frozen, with the twins smiling at her. And before Andy can stop herself, her eyes float over to Stevens. Eye contact. Her heart does a flip. And her eyes dart over to Miranda, and then they make eye contact as well. And Miranda gives Andy a look of utter coldness, disgust, and judgment. Andy freezes. Exterior of the street by night. Andy closes the door to the townhouse, heart pounding. Interior of Andy and Nate's apartment. Andy crawls into bed next to Nate, heart racing, and looks up at the ceiling, freaking out. Interior of the runway bullpen by day. Andy walks in, already bracing herself, and runs into Emily, emerging from Miranda's office, very upset.
Okay, before you start freaking out, it wasn't such a big deal. The twins said hello. I said hello back. Then I went upstairs and gave the book to Miranda.
You went upstairs. You went upstairs. Oh my God! Why didn't you just climb into bed with her and ask for a bedtime story?
You're right. I made a mistake.
You understand? If you get fired, that might jeopardize parents for me. And if that happens, I will search every blimpies in the tri-state area until I find you and kill you.
Wait a second. She's going to fire me?
I don't know. She's not happy.
And they hear Miranda's voice ringing out from the office.
Andrea.
Yes.
Oh my God, these quick changes. Yes.
Come on, BR, the realness.
I don't know
Andy
that that's a
and
compliment in this scenario.
Andy and Emily exchange a look, because, oh boy. Interior of Miranda's office, day. Andy walks in, apprehensive.
Miranda, about last night,
I need the new Harry Potter book for the twins.
Of course. I'll run down to Barnes & Noble right now.
Did you fall down and smack your little head on the pavement?
Not that I can recall.
We have all the published Harry Potter books. The girls want to know what happens next.
Andy stands there a moment, fully aware of the impossibility of what Miranda just asks, and we need to go to Emily's page right now. So
well, let me
can
just.
see what
There we go.
says.
I wasn't sure if it'd be. Sorry,
Yeah.
had
Just so
to.
you know, kids. Just
So you know. Just so you know.
J.K. Rowling is a turf.
Ugh.
Mm.
You want the unpublished manuscript written by a turf.
Miranda gives her a look. Is there a problem with this turf?
We know everyone in publishing shouldn't be a problem. And you can do anything, right?
Ooh, I just got chills.
Interior of the runway bullpen later. Andy paces, panicking, and Emily watches her.
She doesn't get it. There's no way I can get that book. I don't care who I call.
Just then, Miranda walks out. Andy springs up to get her coat.
Bag. The girls will be leaving on the train for their grandmothers at 4. The book better be here no later than 3.
Of course.
And I'd like my steak here in 15 minutes.
No problem.
Miranda exits.
Great. I have to get the impossible manuscript in 4 hours, and Smith & Wolinski's doesn't open until 11:30. How am I supposed to get the steak? She's going to fire me, isn't she? She's just prolonging the kill, like an evil cat with a tiny unfashionable mouse.
Oh, look, you're getting paranoid. Yay. It's not just me. Listen, don't freak out. There could be a silver lining here.
Andy looks at her. Really?
When Miranda gives someone an impossible task, it generally means one of two things. One, she thinks you can actually pull it off.
Or
you know, that thing you were saying about the cat.
Exterior of the street by day. We see Andy racing down the street. Exterior of Smith & Wolinski's by day. Andy flies into frame on the phone.
it's for Miranda Priestley. It's very important. Yes, I know it's impossible to get.
She raps on the door of the closed restaurant. The manager recognizes her and lets her in. Interior of the restaurant by day. From the bar, Andy watches the steak sizzle, pacing nervously. Andy's cell phone rings, and she grabs it.
Anything? Can you try again? I would really appreciate any leads at all. Thanks. No pressure. If I don't have it by 3, I'm fired.
What an amazing job working for someone like Miss Priestley.
Yeah, it's a real party.
Andy walks toward the door,
Party.
and suddenly something catches Andy's eye. We see what Andy's looking at. An ad on the side of the bus stop advertising the latest issue of the New Yorker. Andy sees a familiar name, Christian Thompson. Interior of a taxi by day, and Christian is answering his cell phone.
probably don't remember me. We met at James Holt's party, and I work for Miranda Priestley, and...
Of course I remember you. Miranda girl. You shaken off the college boyfriend yet?
Thinking with his dick.
Exterior of the street by day, Andy on the cell phone.
Listen, I desperately need a favor, and I don't know many people in the book world.
On Christian, getting out of a taxi.
I'm sorry, the Harry Potter manuscript? You have got to be kidding.
I'm sorry to ask you. I'm desperate.
Well, tell her it can't be done. You're just going to have to come up with a plan B.
On Andy.
We're talking about Miranda Priestley. There is no plan B, only plan A.
Interior of the runway hallway, day. Andy runs down the hall with Miranda's food, passing Emily.
Is she back? Am I fired?
You know, I rarely say this to people who aren't me, but you have got to calm down.
Andy ignores her, racing around, getting the dishes and silverware for Miranda's steak. Interior of Miranda's office. We see the steak prettily arranged on Miranda's china. Andy sets up the salt and pepper, and Miranda walks in. When Miranda sees the steak, she freezes.
Hold on, she's muted. She's muted. Shit. Don't say it yet, Miranda. Okay, go ahead.
You have got to calm down.
What's that? Oh, I don't want that.
Andy looks confused.
I'm having lunch with Irv. I'll be back by 3. I would like my Starbucks waiting. Oh, but if you don't have that Harry Potter book by then, don't even bother coming back.
Interior of the runway kitchen by day. Andy carries a tray with all the food on it into the kitchen. A beat. She looks down at the tray and suppresses an urge to throw the whole thing at the wall. She positions the tray over the garbage and tilts it, letting everything, steak, china, silverware, fall into the can.
Better in the movie.
There are starving children
Yes.
everywhere.
Eat the damn steak.
And that steak looks so good.
Yes.
So good, it was huge.
Oh my God, it was so good. That's what she said.
Chipotle.
And now, interior of Starbucks, Andy is getting Miranda's coffee.
Harry Potter, the manuscript. It's from Miranda Priestley. I need it today. Can you make it extra hot? Like center of the sun hot?
The barista gives her a look.
Sorry, my boss is particular. Are you sure? You're my last shot. All right, well, thanks for trying.
She hangs up. The barista hands her the coffee.
Sounds like a great job.
Actually, it is. A million girls would kill for it.
And she starts to laugh. The girl stares at her. Exterior of Starbucks. Andy walks out of the Starbucks with the order on a tray. Andy stands there a moment. People bustle around her as she finds herself at a literal crossroads. She looks up at the building. Suddenly, she stops a passerby who looks at her curious, like, yeah, lady?
Want a mocha?
And Andy starts passing Starbucks to random people on the street.
Interior, Nate's restaurant, kitchen, day. Nate on the phone, intercut with him and Andy on the street.
Quit? Are you sure?
I failed. She's going to fire me anyway. Might as well beat her to the punch.
Wow, I mean, good for you. Congratulations, Andy, you're free.
Call you later.
Andy hangs up and immediately she looks down, assuming it's Nate.
Hello?
I'm brilliant. Really. Monuments should be erected in my honor.
We
Ellie is
intercut to the exterior street by day, between Andy and Christian also walking down the street.
You didn't.
Oh, yes. Friend of a friend does the cover art. She has the manuscript.
No. That would mean I actually did something right. But see, the thing is, I was about to...
And we see Andy. She looks up at the Elias Clark building, teetering on a precipice.
Hey, you want this? You better hurry. Meet me at the St. Regis.
Exterior of the street by day. Establishing St. Regis. Andy runs down the street to the St. Regis.
Welcome to St.
Welcome
Regis.
to the St. Regis.
Or
Is there
you.
anything I can assist you with?
Gender fluid as fuck.
Well, I figured you were
Everybody
going
in
to be
the-
Christian, so I should do the butler, but okay, cool.
That's fine. I accidentally stole your barista line.
I know you
I
did.
know.
Oh my gosh.
Wasn't
Anyway.
clear if it was a girl or a boy.
Anyway.
This one says butler. I assume that meant it was
Okay.
a boy.
Okay.
I don't
Do
know if it's a
it.
boy. I'm sorry, y'all. I already
Okay.
did it. Oh, dear
All right.
mom.
Mom,
Welcome to the St.
Mom,
Regis.
quit
Is there anything I
fighting.
can assist you with?
Yes, I'm meeting someone.
The butler
Opens
opens the door for
right
Andy.
this way.
He escorts her into the St. Regis. Interior of the King Cole bar by day. Christian is having drinks. Andy runs in and he hands her a manuscript.
You have 1 hour.
Interior
That's
of
Buffalo Wild Wings,
Staples.
bitch.
Andy is Xeroxing the manuscript and talking on the phone.
I'm begging you. You have to stall her. Just 10 minutes.
Exterior of the street and interior of the town car. Day. We see Henry driving Miranda. He hangs up the cell phone. Then he turns down a side street. Miranda catches his eye in the mirror. What the hell?
Too much traffic on 5th. The UN's in session.
Miranda makes an annoyed face. Interior of the runway hallway. The tray with Miranda's Starbucks on it. We follow it down the hall and see it being set on Miranda's desk. And beside it lands, boom, an envelope. Widen out to see interior runway, Miranda's office. Miranda looking at the envelope. And then we see Andy. She stands there, quiet and calm. And if Miranda is amazed by what Andy did, she doesn't show it. She opens the envelope and looks inside.
1 copy. What are my twins supposed to do with that? Share?
Actually, I made 2 copies and had them color copied, reset, and bound so they wouldn't look like manuscripts.
She smiles. Miranda nods, but still won't concede the point.
And where exactly are those fabulous copies? I don't see them anywhere.
Interior of the train by day. The metro north from New York City to Bedford. In the front row, we see 2 girls in matching outfits with 2 matching Harry Potter manuscripts. The twins, with their nanny beside them. Interior of runway, Miranda's office by day. Andy smiles at Miranda, her faith in herself restored.
Anything else I can do for you?
That's all.
Exterior of Elias Clark. Andy walks out. The clackers stream in and out of the building, and Andy raises her arms and does a victory dance, now graceful in her stilettos. People stare, and it doesn't bother her.
And that's our end of Act
No shame in
1.
my game.
And that's the end of Act 1. We're going to take a quick little 15-minute break, be back just after 9 o'clock to do the rest of this with all the rest of the tour. If you haven't donated to Better Family Life already, the link is in the YouTube. Just scroll up in the comments. You'll find it. We'll be back just after 9 o'clock, y'all.
Yay!
BRB!
Thank you, 15.
I guess I'll go change my outfit.
I was going to say, are we muted?
I'm getting out of this leather. I don't know about y'all.
Oh, naked Nigel. Hey.
I mean, we'll see what I have lying around.
I'm going to pee while...
Put on the neon mesh. Okay.
Oh, God, Ben, please put on neon mesh.
Look, I'm just going to turn this off and be super surprised when I get back.
Neon mesh doesn't really go with what we're selling here.
Ben, you look beautiful.
Thank you. I can't see you.
She's obviously
Sorry,
she's
I
obviously
couldn't
getting ready
help
for her next fashionable costume change.
Oh, there you
I
go.
mean, hell, even I put a different dress on.
Hey, I'm wearing a shirt now. That's
Yeah,
something.
I know. I've got something for. I mean, anybody can hear me. I mean, before the benefit, I'm gonna have to switch into something very quickly.
Uh-oh.
Well,
Scandalo.
Escandalo indeed. And Danny, I will start since it's a Nate scene, and you're doing great. You're doing amazing, sweetie.
Yay. So question, am I in this movie? Like, what the heck?
Yes, you are.
Where?
Listen here, diva.
Just kidding. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I've had the YouTube feed up on my phone so I can like kind of watch what's happening.
Mm-hmm. We only have a few comments. Does anybody know someone named Doug? I'm assuming that's Mona and Jinger, somebody, because he commented like 6 times. Molly Alice Minks from Kansas City, who's a good friend of mine, is on this. And I've got a lot of Facebook comments or messages saying that people are fucking dying. Laughing, I should.
That's exciting.
I was like, I don't know what that means.
Well, Luke and Daniel are watching, and they're both apparently cracking up.
Good news, everyone. I'm on page 71, so that's good.
Yeah, my friend, who's a fellow actor who I worked with before, he was like, he put on his story on Instagram, he was like, SL Maddie Dukes just killed the cerulean.
Yes, and can we just I'm not gonna bring us back to like 905, but girl, you have been killing the lines and the blending of what was in the movie with what's in the script. So
thank you. This second half, I don't know. I'm gonna go for what I know. The second half.
As the person who's usually interjecting, I'm really sorry because I've watched the movie twice in the since I got the role.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes whenever we switch back and forth from the movie, I get lost. So literally just ignore me.
I'm getting lost too. I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
Because I literally have a thing of notes from the movie that don't line up with what's in the script, and then I'm also referring to the general script. So I'm back and forth.
This Annalise Keating bus driver wig though, for real.
Is it so?
Yes.
Before she went natural.
God.
This is
Annalise Keating is the best.
Oh my God, this is such a bus driver wig. I can't.
This is it's a true it's a bus driver wig.
Oh my God.
Great job so far though. This has been amazing.
This is fun.
Yes. And I literally came up when there was a scene that I wasn't in, that's when I came up with the J.K. Rowling is a TERF sign.
Nice.
I loved it.
Yes, I know because I could tell that I got you, Danny, because you just lost it. You were trying to read, and I know you were reading the sign.
Well,
the problem was that I was trying to read, but then I also I knew that because I was talking, it wasn't showing your sign, and I was like, this needs to be on the thing, so Sarah needs to talk.
I mean, it's not like I've had a problem with that. I don't even know why I'm wearing these tonight when I'm just sitting at my couch.
Yeah, I'm barefoot.
Method
I'm
actress.
literally wearing Jeff pants. I'm not.
Hey.
I'm not in full outfit. No.
No, please.
Yeah.
I pulled a very much work meeting type thing where I put on a binder and a nice kind of looking shirt because this is what can be seen, but I'm wearing actually green gym shorts and nothing else. So
I was gonna say, y'all are lucky I'm even in gym shorts. So there's that.
When I do Zoom meetings,
Didn't even put any clothes on.
In a hoodie or a sports bra, or they gonna take whatever they can get. Hi, Red.
Hey,
Hey.
they're talking to you.
That's
Yeah,
our
Reggie didn't
that's
even
our
put any clothes on. She's got her whole titties
She
out.
was
Look at
begging
that.
to go potty like scene 1, and I was trying to keep her quiet.
Oh, is that why you were laying back in that super, super bad angle for yourself?
What's
Whatever.
going on?
It's not like I was on camera for it.
You were though, because you laughed a lot.
Yeah, it picked
whatever.
your laughter up.
Oh well.
Yeah, and I know that because I'm on my phone, so only who's talking shows.
So yes, so you got speaker view.
Oh well.
My roommate took Raz, like, they tried to take Raz for a walk, and then I got a text, like, halfway through that said, well, Raz got tired, so we're on the back porch. So there's been, like, scratching and barking in the door for, like, the last 30 minutes. They're just hanging out there.
I hope you can't hear that, like, my roommate's playing music, like,
I can't hear shit.
Yeah, we
Okay,
can't hear it. No, you're fine.
Okay, good.
Although when I got back down here, Reggie decided to follow me, and she just came in from outside, and so she's got the Zooms because I'm assuming she pooped. And she came like running all through here. She knocked my food over, and then my water cup went flying. So I'm doing the.
That's
the
my
second
graceful
half of this
girl.
with no water.
Just like her mommy.
Thanks to the dog. Fucking bitches. I'm surrounded by bitches.
I've never done like a Zoom call with just my AirPods in before. So I don't know how much of Raz losing her shit everyone can hear. So I just had Logan.
I haven't heard any of it.
Not a
I was gonna say, I
That's
haven't
because
heard any of it.
she was removed.
She was asked politely to leave.
Right.
Yeah,
That
and
is.
after she
That's
was
all,
asked
Raz.
politely
That's all.
to leave and she refused, Logan just like took her away.
God dang it.
That is one good thing about a Reginald. They don't make a whole lot of noise.
That's true.
Until they see
What
another
do
dog.
you do with a Reginald?
Oh my god.
I love that your dog's name is Reginald.
Well, it's
Well, her name is
Reggie.
Regina, but we call
Regina.
her but we call her
Regina,
Reggie,
Reginald, okay.
Reginald, regimented
That's
Reginald.
how I feel about Booger.
Regina Louise Dreyfus.
Hey! I
We've
came
got,
up with that
like-
one. Hey, what are you eating?
Me?
Yeah, you. Yes, the bitch eating.
Pudding.
Eating a second ago.
I just peed my pants. I need pudding.
You realize we're live right now, right?
It's my life. It happens.
It's so funny that you mentioned. I mean, I'll show you Jinger because when I went to Schnucks the other day, I had to get these because of the
She
scene
has a
coming up.
unicorn snack pack.
I had to test the other colors and see if they tasted different.
I'm all about the swirl. I'm all about the swirl.
So since she told you that she peed her pants, I need y'all to know that the reason I flipped my phone over and took my headphones off was because I had to poop like nobody's business because I had the Thai curry wings from Buffalo Wild Wings, and
oh buddy,
they're no longer in my system. And right now we're redoing our bathroom.
Oh my god!
So like our main bath is torn out, like the tub and everything is in place, but there's not a toilet or anything because we still have to do the floor and all of that. So right now we have one toilet, 4 people, 0 showers. Okay, so this has been a fun couple weeks.
That sounds like a reality show.
But I'm in there, and she's like, "Bitch, you better hurry up!" And I was like, "You're gonna have to figure something else out, girl. Like, I'm gonna be
go outside."
And I did. I was like, "Go outside and pee with the dog," and she was like, "Bitch, I might." And I was like, "Why don't you just go pee in the tub? Like, we'll survive, right?"
See, because he defiled the bathroom before we started.
Defiled. Wow.
And then there they were stinking it up again. I got it again the second time.
You got it the second time. Good job. Proud of you.
I know.
All right. We all here present and accounted for.
Anyway, I peed on my underwear.
Yeah. Anyway, she tried to pee in the tub and peed all over
way to
herself.
come back from break. Wow.
So, and the best part is that I'm on the ones like the bathrooms are like back to back, so I can hear her in there, and I hear her go, "All right, how are we gonna do this?" And then I hear, "Oh no!" And I start laughing my ass off. So of course, as I come out, like I'm like, "What's up?" She is struggling hard on the other side of the shower curtain.
Oh my god.
Oh,
and
plastic all around it like Dexter.
Right. And then I turned the light off on her so that she had to do whatever she was doing in the dark.
Oh my god.
All the fucking time. All the time.
So, okay.
And then I let the dog in because I'm thoughtful.
God. All right.
Anyway.
So we're back. That happened.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Intermission brought to you by
Yes,
Ginger.
intermission always. Intermission across the river. I love it.
This
So-
is why we need a TV show.
We
Because this is a
honestly-
weekly occurrence.
Can I
So-
can I be part of it even though I'm a newbie?
Yes.
Yes.
Go for it.
So before we start Act 2, just a quick couple of notes to announce, and then we're gonna roll right in. 6/20 is gonna be our next one of these. It's a Saturday because I didn't want to do one on Father's Day. But we'll be doing Galaxy Quest.
People who actually have good relationships with their father.
Right, because
Yeah,
I
what's
can't
that
read.
like?
I
I,
can't.
Good
It's
relationship.
so hard at the card section where it's like, oh, Dad, you're the best, you're the best, you're the best. I'm like, where is one that's like, you are my father and I recognize that.
Ah, yes.
So, like,
Yeah.
Or,
So
the
back to
one,
Devil?
or the one that's like, thanks for playing.
Good effort.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah.
Right.
So on the 20th we're doing Galaxy Quest, which I'm really excited for. Pat, who is in our Clerks one, is going to be back playing the Tim Allen role. He's taking one for the team doing that, and he'll be picking our charity.
That's gonna be great.
And then at some point in early July, we're going to be doing League of Their Own. Once I find that script. So Madonna has.
baseball.
Yeah. So, but without further ado, let's head back to New York City. Yes, Kelsi.
Question. If someone wanted to donate, where would they find a link to do that?
Thank you, Mom. If you're following me on Facebook or Instagram, I've posted the link there. If you're watching this on YouTube, there is a link in the comments. Just scroll on up. I put it in
And
there.
I posted in my posts on it. It's on my Instagram and it's on my Facebook.
Go give them. To paraphrase one of my favorite vines, go give them all your fucking money.
Give me all the
And-
dollars.
Just to remind everybody, what are we currently raising money for?
We are
Great
Sam.
question. We are raising money for Better Family Life, a local non-for-profit Black organization in the city of St. Louis. Your donation is going to help continue supporting the initiatives and the efforts that they have been doing for almost 40 years now. So get to it, especially if you want to be on the side of allyship and you're trying to figure out ways how you can support the cause without being on the front line. Donating and supporting a Black business or organization is very helpful.
Correct.
Do that. Go
And-
do that.
And I feel like we don't need to say this because everyone that's watching is obviously with us. But I feel like I'd be remiss if I didn't say Black Lives Matter.
Right. They do.
Sure as shit
Thank
do.
you. They
So-
sure as shit do.
All right, Act 2. We are starting in the interior of Andy and Nate's apartment, night. Andy is making a small diorama of the planetary system. One of those looked like an orange when I looked at that, by the way. Nate walks in. He's carrying a bag.
Yeah.
He's carrying a bag of groceries.
I went over to Dean and DeLuca. Man, they charged like $5 a strawberry. But I figured if you quit, we should be celebrating.
Listen, Nate.
And he sees what she's doing, realizes.
So you quit, but you're still doing the twins science project? That's big of you.
After I called you, I realized it doesn't make any sense to throw away all these months of hard work. I just had a moment of weakness.
And a
That's
little
all.
bit of luck.
Either that or your job sucks and your boss is a wacko.
She looks at him.
Okay, whatever. It's your job.
That's all it is, Nate. It's just a job.
No. It's an important magazine. That's what you said, right?
He sees the latest issue of Runway, picks it up.
Let's see. How to buy a custom-made $600 bra. That's important. A list of the 10 best wrinkle creams under $500. That's also important.
I get the point, Nate.
He continues leaping through.
The new Botox, the new Peacoat, the new Gstad. What the hell is?
Gstaad. It's a ski resort in Switzerland.
See, I now live with someone who knows that. Thank you, Miranda Priestley.
Nate, it's not like I run the magazine. I just work there, remember?
Nate doesn't say anything, keeps putting away groceries. She walks over to him.
I'm the same person I was. I still want the same things.
But he doesn't look too convinced.
I promise. Say Mandy, better clothes.
See, that's the thing. I liked your old clothes.
But you don't get a say in what I do or wear. No, hold on.
You're right.
In real life.
Right.
In real life.
You're right.
What about these? These are pretty nice.
He doesn't take the bait.
And this skirt? Okay, what about this?
I'm going to just describe this, and please don't do this because I don't want the stream to get shut down.
I'm not gonna do it.
I'm just saying, I know it's you, but still.
I'll be your body double. It's okay.
She unbuttons her shirt, revealing a bra that costs more than every item of clothing Nate owns combined. Beat.
I mean, I like that.
He grabs her and kisses her.
Woo-hoo. Men are so
I've
simple.
been really trying. Okay. Interior of the conference room by day. The senior staff members are gathered around a table. Nigel, Jocelyn, Lucia, a few others, including Paul, the art director of the magazine.
Nigel.
Oh my God, I have a line. Sorry. Hello. Posen's doing some very sculptural suits, so Testino wants to shoot them at the I'm sorry, at the Noguchi Garden in the Chase Building. Hello.
Miranda.
Give me a second. This is my show.
Oh.
You're right.
You
you're
do
right.
not get to tell Miranda when it's her turn to
Right.
talk.
Perfect. Thank God somebody came to work today. What about the accessories pages for April? Ooh.
One thought was enamel, bangles, earrings, pendants.
We did that 2 years ago. What else?
Well, they're showing a lot of florals for spring, so.
Florals for spring. Groundbreaking.
Oh, that's me. Hi. But we thought about shooting them in an industrial space.
She looks at him. Death ray. But he soldiers on.
We thought the contrast between the femininity of florals
And she's still just staring. He continues
the-
falling forward.
well, the more raw, rough hewn nature of the backdrop
No.
would create a tension, which
No.
I would
Just then,
oh,
Emily walks in with a note from Miranda. Before she can get all the way across the room, Emily dissolves into hacking coughs. Miranda gives her a look and then turns back to her staff.
Coronavirus. Kidding. Anyone have anything I can actually use? Antibacterial wipes, perhaps?
Interior of the runway bullpen by day. Andy is at her desk. Emily walks back, blowing her nose, rubbing her eyes, basically a walking, breathing NyQuil ad.
Which you shouldn't be right now because coronavirus.
Coronavirus.
Get tested.
she's phlegmy, it's fine.
Are you okay?
Tonight's the benefit. I've been looking forward to it for months. I refuse to be sick. I'm wearing Valentino. Everyone's going to be leaving to get dressed soon, so after you drop Miranda's Fendi bag at the Rabitas, you can just go home.
Great, thanks. That's perfect because I need to get to Magnolia Bakery before they close.
Andy grabs her purse from under her desk and she retrieves a wrapped present.
It's Nate's birthday and we're having a little party for him.
Emily looks at her. too sick, and also to Emily take care.
I'm hearing this,
Anyway.
and I want to hear this.
I wasn't saying anything.
Sorry.
Anyway, have fun. Have fun tonight.
Interior of the lobby by day. Andy, feeling liberated, walks out carrying the present and a shopping bag with Miranda's bag in it. And that's when her cell rings. Interior of the runway, Miranda's office by day. Andy and Emily walk in together looking confused.
Raggy? I want to make sure before the benefit that you are both fully prepped on the guest list.
Andy and Emily exchange a look.
Zoinks?
I thought only the first assistant went to the benefit.
Only when the first assistant hasn't become an incubus of viral plague, you'll come and help Emily.
On Emily and Andy's surprised faces. Interior of the runway bullpen. They walk out, and Emily is clearly peeved.
You have to see why she needs both of us. Says 8-second coughing fit in the script.
That was the 8-second coughing fit.
Don't look at me. Don't touch me. The last thing I want to do.
And wash your hands.
Emily dumps something on Andy's lap. A book of what looks like mugshots.
These are all the guests. Miranda invites everyone. We have to make sure they all think that she knows exactly who they are. I've been studying for weeks.
I need to learn all these people by tonight.
Andy, don't be silly.
She pulls out another big book of headshots.
You have to learn these too.
Interior of the closet. Nigel is looking for a gown for Andy. Andy is on her cell phone. Nigel was never in the closet.
I know, right?
Lily,
Especially
just start
Arna.
without me. I'll be there as soon as I can.
Interior of the gallery by day. We see Lily at the gallery where she works.
Okay, but hurry.
Come on, fucker.
Interior of the closet by day. Andy on the phone.
I will, I promise. Believe me, this is the last thing I want to do.
Just then, Nigel holds up a dress.
Ta-da!
Oh, I love that. I'll call you the second I'm leaving.
She hangs up.
Will that fit me?
Of course, a few extra yards of fabric and a stable gun, and we're in business.
So much fat shame.
Interior.
No, it's awful. I'm so
It's
sorry.
horrifying. No, it's fine.
Interior
It's all
of the
my lines.
runway
No.
studio later that day. We see Andy from behind as the makeup artist applies the finishing touches. He studies her.
Remember, there are two keys to wearing an evening gown. One is to mean a regal bearing. The second,
He mimes adjusting one's boobs in a strapless dress.
make sure the girl's face forward.
The makeup artist steps away, and Nigel and Andy both study her in the mirror.
Not bad. How do you feel?
Exterior of the street and interior of the town car at night. We see a limousine gliding through the streets.
Andy.
Andrea.
Running through the streets!
Glide through the streets, Andy.
This is my fancy hair. Let's see. My feet are killing me. Everything pinches somehow.
Exterior of the New York Public Library at night. All lit for a gala charity benefit. A red carpet lined with notables leads up the steps.
My breasts are squeezed into a ball, and this hairpiece is like having a boulder pinned to my head.
And suddenly, the door to the town car opens, and Andy steps out onto the red carpet. And she looks unbelievable, gorgeous, perfect.
Thank you. Goodness. Never felt better.
Andy walks up the red carpet where she catches sight of Nigel talking to reporters on the red carpet.
This benefit is the social event of the season. It represents what runway is about: grace, style, elegance.
And as he says, elegance, he catches sight of Andy, smiles, and does a smaller version of the adjusting the girls gesture. Andy smiles at him and walks on. And just then, Emily spots Andy.
Oh my God. Andy, you look so chic.
But Andy is busy staring at Emily in her strapless dress.
Yes.
And you look
Yikes.
so thin.
Oh, do I? It's for Paris. I'm on a new diet. I don't eat anything. And then when I feel like I'm about to faint, I eat a cube of cheese.
It's definitely working.
I know. I'm just one stomach flew away from my goal weight.
That's not disturbing. That's great.
We do not endorse any of this behavior.
No, ma'am.
And that's why all of us are at least 15 stomach flues from our goal weight.
15 if we're lucky.
Thank you, 15.
Well, Emily unfortunately smiles proudly and then dissolves into another round of bone-rattling coughs.
Ready?
Interior of the library at night. Andy and Emily enter. It's beautiful. Everything in sight is white.
I gotta be white.
White tulips, bone white china, white candles. All the guests are in black or white, and Emily looks around.
We need to make sure we're there the second she walks in.
I was wondering how long you think we'll have to stay, because I was hoping.
There she is.
And just then, Miranda walks in. She's wearing the awkward dress from James's sketches, but it's made over to perfection. Emily and Andy rush over to Miranda. Quick cuts at the ball. Andy and Emily stand at Miranda's side as she fields greetings. Emily whispers to Miranda.
John Folger, the new artistic director, circle in the square.
Why does it sound so
Some
ASMR?
ASMR shit.
That's what I was aiming for!
That was great. I feel so calm.
Ew. Please don't ever whisper like that in my ear.
Yeah, that was force-fed directly into both of my ears.
I loved it.
John, good to see you.
She greets him. Just then, we see a distinguished man in an impeccable European suit, Massimo.
That's Massimo Corteleone, chairman of...
Massimo, you made it. I was worried you'd be too busy with your new factory in Ortizano.
Probably you, Drew.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I forgot I was boys. I would never miss a chance to see you, Miranda, darling.
Distinguished couple approaches, walks toward Miranda, Andy, and Emily. Miranda holds her smile, waiting for information. Emily racks her brain, which goes blank. She starts to panic.
Wait, I know who that is. I saw them this morning. Oh, God, it's on the tip of my tongue. It's...
Seeing Emily struggle, Andy leans into Miranda.
Ambassador Franklin. And that's the woman he left his wife for, Rebecca.
Rebecca.
I hardly know her.
Rebecca.
She country.
She real country.
He's leaving
Oh,
her for.
She's Medea.
God damn it.
Ambassador Franklin. And that's the woman he left his wife for, Rebecca. The woman he's leaving her for is the woman walking down the stairs in Valentina.
Miranda greets the couple.
Ambassador, Rebecca.
Never gonna hear that right again.
Andy.
Fuck you guys!
Thanks.
Just then, Andy sees a very fashionable woman with a more avant-garde look than Miranda headed for them. And she's being escorted by none other than Irv. Emily whispers to Andy.
That's Jacqueline Follet, right? From French Runway?
Oh my God, Miranda hates her. She was supposed to arrive after Miranda left.
As she says this, we see Miranda greeting Jacqueline warmly.
Disclaimer, I do not speak French, so
Me neither, so.
We
Come
gonna-
on, come on, Dion Warwick.
I can do bonsoir. Ah, bonsoir, chérie. Rudement, chouette.
I like your dress too. Very American, sporty.
Thank you for coming to our little get-together tonight.
Of course, I plan my whole year around it. I don't know what
Are you
accent-
Russian?
Yeah, that's not
What are you doing?
What in the French conjure
You
was
sound-
that?
No. Here's what it is. You sound like the helper lady cousin from Anastasia who stays with the
Yes.
Yes.
Grateful Anya.
To us 90-Day Fiance. I'm getting them all mixed up. Okay.
And we are all so grateful that you do.
After all, we're family, no?
She smiles at Irv, who smiles right back. Miranda smiles too, but looks like she'd rather throw darts at Jacqueline. Andy quickly steps forward.
Alors, Jacqueline, dis-moi, avez-vous rencontré Brad Pitt?
Ah, no, pas encore.
And Andy pulls Jacqueline from across the room. Later, the party is in full swing. Emily and Andy are with Miranda, who is talking to a group of luminaries, including Irv.
Talking about some
Emily turns to Andy and whispers.
You can go. I got it from here.
Are you sure?
Go, have fun.
And for the first time, they seem like friends.
Dun, dun.
Foreshadowing.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
But just as Andy's about to leave, Stephen appears, quite drunk, and joins Miranda's group.
Darling, there you are.
The banner evening. 3 people have failed to recognize me. 1 person called me Mr. Priestley, and now the damn bartender refuses to serve me.
Everyone looks uncomfortable, and Stephen turns to Irv.
Why don't you get me a drink? He's got to listen to you, right, little guy?
Everyone freezes. Miranda forces a laugh, an awful beat. And Andy leaps in, quickly turns to Irv, distracting him.
I'm sorry to bother you, but I've been dying to ask you. Is it true that John Cheever used to ghostwrite the editor's page of Manhattan Magazine in the 50s?
And while she chats with him, Miranda puts her arm around her husband and leads him
Come on,
gently away.
darling. Let's get something to eat. I'm starved, aren't you?
And as she walks away, Miranda turns. And Miranda mouths the words, "Thank you," to Andy. Andy's eyes go wide in disbelief, and then she smiles. Yes. Exterior of the New York Public Library by night. Andy trots down the steps, starting to take down her hair as she races to the car. Suddenly, she looks up and sees Christian walking up the steps, looking better than anyone ever should in a tuxedo. He smiles and clutches his heart like he's been shot by Cupid.
Oh, look at you. You're a vision. Thank God I saved your job.
Hey, I figured out a few things on my own too. Turns out I'm not as nice as you thought.
God, I hope not.
He openly admires her in a way that makes it clear he's imagining her with that dress off.
Irv.
Yeah, because I'm hetero.
Ew.
No, it's fine. Keep it up.
Believable.
Straight white men are so weird. Ew.
I know.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for all of us. I'm not even really a man, but I'm sorry. All right. If you didn't have that stupid boyfriend, I'd have to whisk you away right here and now.
Ew.
Do you really say things like that to people?
Evidently.
I have to go.
Yeah, you do.
The whole tone of this has gotten real,
Mhm. It got 2020 real fast up in here.
real Barbara Walters special on Friday.
Real Ronan Farrow about to bust him.
Are you sure? My editor from Vanity Fair's in there. I was going to introduce you to him. You know, you sent me your stuff, remember? Ew. That sounds real dirty.
Title of your sex tape.
I know, right? I have to be honest. I only read a couple, but, you know, it was quite a big packet. You dirty again. But they weren't half bad. You're pretty talented, Andy. You should meet
That's
you.
what he said.
Come on in. Just one drink.
With some rubies in it.
Creepy.
Well, maybe I could. No, I can't. I just can't.
Andy turns and races toward her town car.
Say hello to the boyfriend for me.
Andy looks at her watch as she runs away, winces. She's so late. Exterior of the street, interior of the town car by night. Andy looks over at Roy.
Can you go any faster?
Bitch, I'm going 90 and a 30. Calm your shit.
Fucking New York City, how fast you expect me to go? Right.
All right, I got this, gang. Interior restaurant night. Doug and Lily are sitting at a table with a few other friends. Andy walks in, still in her evening wear, and looks at them, and understands right away Nate is long gone. Interior apartment night. Andy walks in holding a cupcake with a lit candle on it. Nate's watching ESPN because he's a douchebag. He barely looks up.
Happy birthday. I'm surprised since you're in the food industry that you're actually at your house at a reasonable hour. Whatever.
Nate turns off the TV, looks at her.
Cake. Nate, I'm so sorry. I was trying to leave, but there was a lot going on, and I didn't have a choice, and...
Don't even fucking worry about it. I'm gonna go.
Hold up. We do not talk to each other that way.
First of all.
I do.
He walks past her.
Can we at least talk about this?
He starts to leave, turns, looks at her.
You look really pretty.
And he walks into the bedroom. Andy stares there feeling terrible.
And interior of the apartment at dawn. Very early. Andy is getting dressed, by now every bit as expert as the girls in the beginning of the movie. She pauses a moment, watching Nate sleep. Then she exits. Interior of the runway by day, Andy on the phone.
I don't understand what's so difficult about scheduling a preview. If you want Miranda to give you any editorial, we'll need to see the clothing at least 3 weeks before the show. Yes, please. See what you can do.
She hangs up. Emily looks over at her and raises an eyebrow.
Everything okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
The phone rings.
Miranda Priestley's office. Thanks. I gotta go pick up the Polaroids from the shoot.
Exterior of the zoo by day, outside at the zoo. We see models wearing gorgeous evening gowns, their faces partly obscured by beautifully detailed masks depicting different animals. We see Nigel, Jocelyn, and a few clackers.
No. I think Giselle should be the lizard and Vivian the donkey.
The lizard's better with the dulce. Sometimes I can't believe I talk about this crap all day.
2 of the clackers are checking out the models. Gay.
God, we should have a pig mask for Rona. I know, she's huge.
We see the model they're talking about. Perfectly skinny, of course. Just then, Andy walks over. The clacker hands Andy a stack of Polaroids. Andy turns to go, but Nigel stops her.
Get these to Miranda right away. Tell her I switched in the Dior for the Rochas?
Rocha.
Rochas.
Yeah, that.
Great, no problem.
Hey, adjust the attitude. Don't make me feed you to one of the models.
Sorry, busy day. My personal life is going down the drain, that's all.
Join the club. You start to do well at work. That's what happens.
Andy looks at him. I'm doing well at work?
Let me know when your whole life goes up in smoke. That means it's time for a promotion.
Interior of Miranda's foyer at night. Andy steps in, carrying the dry cleaning and the book, moving quickly. Suddenly, she hears a voice emerging from upstairs.
Andrea, come up here.
Andy practically has a heart attack. Interior of the living room at night. Andy walks in, curious and scared. Andy steps into the apartment.
Paris is the most important week of my year. I need the best team possible with me.
And this is when Andy starts to have a bad feeling.
That no longer includes Emily.
Andy realizes.
Oh, wait, you want me to? Oh, no. Emily would die. Her whole life is about Paris.
Miranda stares. Doesn't care.
She hasn't eaten in weeks. I can't do that, Miranda. I can't.
If you don't go, I'll assume you're not serious about your future at Runway or any other publication.
Andy looks at her.
The decision is yours.
But
That's all.
Exterior of Miranda's building at night. Andy walks out of the building. Roy opens the door to the town car, but she waves him away. Exterior of Broadway at night. Andy walks downtown alone, thinking. Walks by a newsstand covered with the latest runway. A store window filled with the latest fashions. A bunch of people her age drinking at an outdoor restaurant looking carefree. And the interior of Andy and Nate's apartment later. Andy looks through the clips of all her articles from college and at a picture of herself at graduation, surrounded by her parents, her relatives, her friends. Her parents are beaming, exuding pride. Interior of the runway bullpen by day. The desks outside Miranda's office are empty. We hold for a few beats, and then Andy comes in, walking slowly, still unsure. And at that moment, Miranda appears, and they look at each other. Miranda nods almost imperceptibly. Andy nods back. And Miranda takes her coat off. Andy holds out her arms to take the coat from her. But Miranda puts the coat on Emily's desk instead, right in front of Emily's Arc de Triomphe screensaver. And then Miranda strides into her office. Andy sits down, trying to grasp the magnitude of what has just happened. And then Miranda pokes her head back in.
You're muted.
I do that shit every time. Sorry. Can you lead me back in, narrator? Thank you.
Then Miranda pokes her head back in.
Diva.
Don't forget to tell Emily.
And we see Andy's face. Me? Interior of the runway bullpen. Andy is waiting for Emily, dreading her arrival. Suddenly, she can't take it anymore. She dials the phone.
Do it now.
Exterior of a midtown street by day. Emily is in even more than her usual tizzy.
Emily?
Sorry I'm late. Miranda wanted some scarves from Ernest and she told me yesterday, but I forgot like an idiot, so...
Emily, I have to talk to you.
I freaked out, of course, but then I just called Martine at home and she opened the store early for me, so I got them. Woo!
Emily juggles in the Hermes bag, her purse, her cell phone, almost mows down an old lady, and she mouths, sorry.
Okay, Emily, when you get in, I want to talk to you about something.
I hope it's not another Miranda problem.
Not exactly.
Good, because I've got so much to deal with before we go, and I swear to God, I can't even...
And that's when Emily steps into the street without looking. The second she steps off the sidewalk, blam! Emily is hit by a taxi. We see her purse, her cell phone, her shopping bags, some of the orange Hermes boxes, and some of the scarves as they fly through the air.
It's more like
Interior,
shablam.
It is
Kablam.
Shabbat Shablam.
Interior of the hospital by day. Andy sits in the waiting room, distraught. Lying in a hospital bed, her face with no makeup, wearing a dumpy hospital robe, Emily looks like exactly what she is. A skinny, tired young girl.
Why
Andy
is
stands
girl
by
in
the
all
window,
caps?
arms
Creepy.
folded, defensive.
I don't care if she was going to fire you or beat you with a red hot poker. You should have said no.
I didn't have a choice. You know how she is.
Oh, please, that's a pathetic excuse.
Just then, an orderly walks in with her dinner, laden with fattening foods, a cream soup, bread, pasta, cheese, and dessert. Emily grabs a pudding and peels off the foil top.
You know what just gets me about this whole thing? You're the one who pretends you don't care about this stuff. No, you don't care about fashion. You just want to be a journalist, blah, blah, blah. Why are you bollocks?
She angrily finishes the last spoon of pudding, grabs a dinner roll, which she starts to butter.
Look, I know you're mad, and I don't blame you.
Face it, Andy. You sold your soul the day you put on that first pair of Jimmy Choos.
She bites off a hunk of dinner roll.
And that man kills me. Those you're about to get. You don't deserve them. You eat carbs, for Christ's sake. It's so unfair.
Huh?
Eat cars, for Christ's sake. Just
Eat the
go.
carbs.
It
Just
sounds like
go.
he's doing the chubby bunny challenge.
Emily.
I said go.
Interior of the Chelsea Gallery at night. Lily has curated a show at the gallery where she works. Lily rushes around. Nate isn't there yet, and Andy stands with Doug.
You're going to Paris for the couture shows? That is the coolest fashion event of the year. Who are you going to see? Galliano? Lagerfeld? Nicholas?
nice
Gift
save.
gear. It's gift gear.
Okay.
Okay, now you're scaring me.
Just then, Lily walks over to them.
Lily, this show is amazing. I am so proud of you.
I wasn't sure you were going to make it.
What are you talking about? I wouldn't miss this.
Lily and Doug look at her.
Okay, so lately I've missed a few things. A lot of things. Almost everything.
I'm just glad you're here. Start with the murals in the other room. They're amazing.
A little later, Andy looks at the artwork, and suddenly she hears a voice.
Hey, Miranda girl.
Ew.
He closes
It's so
her eyes.
lecherous.
I'm sorry. It's a tight
No.
I can't
You're
help
doing
myself.
I just
She
haven't been
closes her
spoken
eyes.
to like that in a long time.
Can't be. She turns. Yup.
I was just thinking about you.
Ew.
Come on.
It's true. I'm profiling some French name that I for sure am not
Gautier.
gonna
Gautier.
Oh, okay, cool. Gautier, cool.
There's an
For
L in it
interview.
for some reason.
Isn't that
Huh?
who sings
Silent.
Somebody
It's
Who I
silent.
Used to
It's
Know?
silent.
No, that's Gautier, not Gautier. All right. For interview, and I was making plans for Paris, and I found myself wondering if you'd be there.
Actually,
Stop smiling. Why am I smiling?
I am going.
Well, that's great. I'm staying at this fantastic little hotel on 7th, across from a falafel restaurant that will change your life.
Sorry, I'll be too busy working. You'll have to find someone else's life to change.
But that's just it. I'm starting to wonder if I can.
Hey, acid bath.
And with that, he leans in and plants a soft kiss on her cheek. Andy closes her eyes, blushing like Crazy. When she opens her eyes, Christian is gone. And it's not for a moment that she notices Lily about 10 feet away staring at her, a look of surprise and disgust on her face.
Oh, Reggie didn't like that.
Helena, that's you.
Oh shit, hold on.
Good job. Good job.
Interior Chelsea Gallery night. Andy follows Lily through the gallery.
He's just a guy I know from work.
Yeah, that looked like work.
You're making a big deal out of...
The Andy I know is madly in love with Nate. It's always 5 minutes early and thinks Club Monaco is couture. For the last 16 years, I've known everything about that Andy. But this person,
She gestures to Andy.
this glamazon who skulks around corners with some random hot fashion guy, I don't get her.
Andy looks at her, stunned.
Have fun in Paris.
She turns and walks away. Andy turns. Nate is standing there.
You're going to Paris?
It just happened.
I thought Paris was some big deal for Emily, and
Great. Now you're going to give me a hard time too?
And Andy walks away upset. Nate follows her. Exterior gallery night. Nate follows Andy outside.
what the hell is wrong with you?
Miranda asked me and I couldn't say no, okay? I didn't have a choice.
I know. That's your answer for everything lately. I didn't have a choice. Like this job was forced on you. Like you don't have to make these decisions yourself.
Okay, I get it. You're mad because I work late all the time and because I missed your birthday party.
Oh, come on. What the fuck am I, 4?
Kinda, yeah, you're fucking 4. You hate runway and Miranda. You think fashion is stupid. You've made that clear.
Andy, I'm a fucking burnout. I make port wine reductions all day. I'm not exactly in the Peace Corps. I wouldn't care if you were out all night pole dancing if at least you did it with some integrity.
So he slut shames too. Great.
All right.
So now I have no integrity. Great.
You used to say that this was just a job. You made fun of those runway girls, and now you've become one of them.
That's absurd.
Look at you. Just look at you. Now that I know how much you're willing to change to be successful, it makes me wonder if we ever had anything in common.
You don't mean that.
I do. I really do.
Fuck you.
Andy tries to catch her breath.
And maybe this trip is coming at a good time. Maybe we should take a break. A Ross break, not a Rachel break.
Yes!
Yes.
Because I'm about to bone some boy.
She stands there waiting for him to protest, throw his arms around her. He looks at her, stunned by what she just said, and after a painful moment, he simply walks away.
Nate!
He turns, and just then, they both know who it is, and she has to take that call.
In case you're wondering, the person who calls you always take, that's the relationship you're in.
Yeah,
And,
Jinger. Maybe answer a phone call every once in a while.
Don't call me.
Who called you? Are you a terrorist?
Text me, bitch.
I
don't
know
answer
you
those
two
either.
are exquisitely happy together.
We are, thank you.
That was the line.
I know.
And he walks away, and he clicks on the phone.
Hello, Miranda.
Exterior of Paris at night. A limo drives across the city. Interior of the limo. Andy looks out the window, watching Paris at night whizzing by. And even though she's still feeling melancholy, she is awed by what she sees. Miranda, sitting across from Andy, is not even looking out the window. She's looking through the book. Exterior. Plasta, some French hotel thing. Devendome.
Dimmadome.
At night. The Paris Ritz. Miranda's limo pulls up. Interior of the Ritz Hotel at Andy's suite. The bellman opens the door to a huge suite.
Wait, this is not right. Miranda is staying in the suite.
That's correct, mademoiselle. Miranda Priestley's suite is down the hall.
This is my room?
Interior of a fashion show in Paris by day. Andy sits in the front row beside Miranda. Half the invitees are looking at the clothes. The other half are just watching Miranda's reaction to the clothes. Interior of a fashion show at night. Backstage at a fashion show where the models are undressing and changing. Miranda hobnobs with designers,
I'm sorry.
editors, and celebrities, and Andy is right there beside her. Exterior of the fashion show by day. Miranda walks by some paparazzi outside the Chanel show. They scream her name.
Miranda!
She shows off her best smile.
I can keep
What's up,
that.
Andy
Brandy?
squints. Blinded by the flashbulbs, suddenly she hears a voice behind her.
Oh, God.
You know, I've been thinking, and you still owe me for Harry Potter.
Ew.
Ew.
Stop ewing me! You always giving me a complex.
Fortunately,
Reggie,
It's not
come
you, it's the
comfort
role.
me.
It's not you, it's the
Come
role, baby.
comfort me. It's
she
fine.
unfortunately
You'll
sees
good.
Christian, and she finds herself alarmingly happy to see him.
Oh, do I?
Of course you do.
Do you
Working
do you
tonight?
really?
Ew,
Actually-
quit saying it's so creepy. Sorry.
Stop ewing me! You're just mad I'm saying these things to Andy and not you, okay?
Oh!
Okay, let's keep the Jerry Springer drama to a minimum. We're
You
almost
are
done.
not the father.
Miranda Priestley
That's
has
Dr. Phil.
spoken. That's Maury Povich.
Maury, sorry.
Okay,
Miranda has a dinner.
So you're free. Perfect. Oh, but there's a problem, huh? Le boyfriend?
At the mention of this, Andy blushes slightly.
Wait, don't tell me. The boyfriend is non plus? Je suis très, très désolé.
Oh, you're so full of it. You're not
So
just
hetero.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, not even a little. So, what time am I picking you up?
Interior of the Ritz Hotel in Miranda's suite in the evening. Andy walks in cheerful, carrying a seating chart. She is surprised to see Miranda just sitting on the sofa. There's a strange lag before she looks up at Andy. Andy registers something as odd, and finally,
There,
I'm like,
where you at?
hold on, this is my show.
Let her live.
there we go. Oh my God, these costumes.
Because I'm a true performer. Anyways,
I love you so much.
I can't.
there you are. Damn it, my thing keeps going off. We need to go over the seating chart for the lunch.
Title of your sex tape.
Andy starts to take the chart out of the bag, but she can't help but notice that Miranda is just staring into space.
Sure, no problem. I have it right here.
And finally, Miranda focuses on her.
By all means, move at a glacial pace. You know how that thrills me.
Andy puts down the seating chart and Miranda studies it. And there's an uncharacteristic lag in her decision making. Andy watches her. Something is definitely up.
Okay, so first of all, let's put in the movie Snoop Dogg. Let's put Snoop Dogg at my table.
But your table is full.
Steven won't be coming.
She takes this tab off the seating chart and removes it. And Andy looks at her, not understanding.
So Stephen is not, so you don't need me to fetch Stephen from the airport tomorrow.
Well, if you speak to him and he decides to rethink the divorce, then fetch him. You're fetching, so fetch away.
Andy now freezes.
And when we get back to New York, we'll need to think of a way to keep it out of the press.
Of course.
Another divorce in the papers. And we all know what they'll say about me. Dragon lady, career obsessed, drove away another Mr. Priestley.
And despite herself, Miranda wanders off her path.
He knew who I was, you know. They all did. And at first, they're always proud to be with a powerful, accomplished woman. That's what they say, but then...
Andy is afraid to move a muscle, afraid to startle Miranda.
I don't care what anyone says about me, of course, but it's so unfair to the girls. Another disappointment, another stepfather figure gone.
She tries to shake herself out of it.
I mean, the point is...
She pauses to collect herself. For a second, Andy thinks she might actually fall apart.
We really need to figure out where to put Donatella because she's barely speaking to anyone.
A beat. And Andy can't believe she's recovered so quickly.
Miranda, I am so sorry. If you want me to cancel your evening, I can.
And her pitying tone finally shakes Miranda back.
Don't be ridiculous. Why would we do that?
A beat. Andy can't believe she's recovered so quickly.
Miranda, is there anything else I can do?
And Miranda slowly looks at her, the ice completely forming.
Your job.
Exterior of the Ritz Hotel at night. We see Miranda striding out of the lobby, and what we notice is she looks fine. Done up, confident walk. Interior of the limo at night. Miranda closes the door, and now that she's alone for 1 second, her veneer cracks. She takes a breath, moving on.
Go.
Fuck yeah, costume change. Interior hotel suite at night. Andy is dressed for her date with Christian. Just then there's a knock at the door and Andy opens it.
Hi, listen, I need Miranda's itinerary because...
He looks at her outfit.
Who put that together for you?
She hands him the itinerary.
What do you mean?
That outfit.
Oh, I just threw it on.
Ooh, incredible. Well, I guess my work here really is done. Come on, let's have champagne. We're celebrating.
He walks over to the minibar and takes out the champagne, pops the cork, and pours 2 glasses.
Glug, glug!
What are we toasting?
To getting the dream job, the one a million girls wanted.
Nigel,
Also
I got my
champagne
job.
anime.
I'm not talking
What?
about you.
She looks at him confused.
James Holt. Massimo is investing in James' company, taking it global with the rest of CFG. Shoes, bag, fragrances, the works. So James needs a partner. And that would be me. Miranda knows. She put me up for it.
You're leaving? Nigel, I can't imagine Runway without you.
Bitch, you better. Can you believe it? For the first time in 18 years, I'm going to call the shots in my own life. One day I might be able to come to Paris and actually see
God,
Paris.
I am so happy for you, Nigel. You deserve it.
Bet your booty hole.
He raises a glass and they toast.
And that's not you every other day.
Interior of a French restaurant at night. Christian and Andy have dinner in a tiny romantic restaurant on a place that I can't pronounce.
Las de Rocher.
I've never seen anyone as dedicated as Miranda.
Oh, shut the fuck up. No. You can't even tell me the last time I was jumping.
Sam, we can hear you.
I am so sorry.
That's all.
Miranda's just doing what she
Fantastic.
do.
Right?
That's fantastic.
That's all.
Can we stop talking about her now?
Oh my God.
I'm just saying, yes, there are things she does I don't agree with, but
Oh, come on. Andy, you hate her. Just admit it. She's a notorious sadist and not in a good way.
okay, so she's tough. But if Miranda were a man, no one would notice anything about how great she is at her job.
Christian, a
I
fucking
can't
man,
believe
bursts
this.
into laughter.
You're defending her. The wide-eyed girl peddling her earnest newspaper stories. You've crossed over to the dark side.
I resent that.
You shouldn't. It's sexy.
He pours her more wine, and despite
It
herself,
doesn't
she
get
smiles.
better.
They should have done a drinking game. Like every time you feel uncomfortable when Christians.
I need more of this. That's the.
I got a drinking.
Sexy, really?
Really?
Oh!
Exterior of the Paris street at night.
Yikes.
They walk home together through the
Place de
what is it
Vosges.
again? Place de Vosges,
Whatever the fuck it is.
leaning against each other, and Andy is tipsy.
I have no idea where we're going. You could be leading me anywhere.
Don't worry. I know this city like the back of my hand. It's my favorite place on the planet. You know, Gertrude Stein says, America is my country, but Paris is my hometown.
Yay.
She looks at him and laughs.
You are unbelievable. Do you write that stuff down and file it away to use on girls?
Yes.
I work freelance. Leaves me some time on my hands.
Well, I never understood why everyone was so crazy about Paris, but now
She swirls around.
it's so beautiful.
And suddenly, he catches one of her arms and, almost like a dance move in a corny-ass movie, pulls her into him and kisses her.
Ew.
Oh!
Is that how you do it? I cannot
That
do
is-
this.
That is foul.
Foul.
You got more to be.
Nate and I only split up a few days ago. I'm gonna throw up. I've had too much wine, and my judgment is impaired. Therefore, I cannot give fucking consent.
Yeah!
I barely know you, and I'm in a strange city. Out of excuses.
Thank God.
Oh, God. Interior of Christian's hotel room by night. Andy and Christian are kissing on his bed. And then, an interior of Christian's hotel room in the morning. Andy wakes up. Her hair and makeup from the night before are askew. She realizes what she did.
The best night
We
of
hear
her
the
life. That's what
sound.
she did.
I took that tea.
We hear the sound of the shower running. She sits up, catches sight of herself in the mirror. Yikes. Checks the clock on her phone and shit, she's late.
How
Andy
late is
starts
she?
getting dressed quickly. She tries to find her left shoe, pulls on the bedspread, knocking a few papers onto the bedside table.
At least
And
she's late
that's-
for work and not her period.
When she sees something,
A dick.
a mock-up of a magazine with the familiar runway logo. She picks it up. Interior of the shower by day. Christian stands under the spray of water. Suddenly, the shower curtain is yanked back.
Oh, we're doing that.
Andy is standing there, furious. Hold up the mock-up issue.
What the hell is this?
It's a dragon tattoo.
Christian, cool as an asshole cucumber, steps out and grabs a towel which he wraps around himself.
What does it look like? It's a mock-up
Of?
of what American Runway will look like when Jacqueline is the new editor-in-chief.
He walks into the hotel room. Interior of the hotel room by day, Andy follows him. He calmly dresses as they talk.
They're replacing Miranda?
Yes, and Jacqueline is bringing me in to run all of the editorial content. Oh, what? Are you really surprised? Jacqueline is a lot younger than Miranda. She's got a fresher take on things. Not to mention that American Runway is one of the most expensive books in the business. Jacqueline does the same thing with a lot less money. And Irv is a businessman, you know.
Miranda will be devastated. Runway is her whole life. He can't do that to her.
It's already done. Irv's telling Miranda after the party for James.
And she has no idea.
She's a big girl. She'll be fine.
He reaches out to grab her arm, but she looks at him with utter contempt.
It's already done. Baby.
I have to go.
She walks away and he calls after her. Interior of the Ritz Hotel, corridor by day. Andy paces. Exterior of the Paris Street by day. Andy races down the street. She dials her cell phone. Miranda picks up.
Hold on. Oh, thank God. Where are you?
Excuse me?
I need to talk to you right away. It's about Jacqueline Folais.
Click!
Shit!
Interior of the Hotel Crillon, corridor by day. Andy runs down a corridor. She paces a second, knowing she's going to get her ass kicked, then knocks on the door. Irv opens the door. We see Miranda behind him. When she sees Andy, she walks over, turns to Irv.
Excuse us a moment.
Miranda pulls Andy into the hall.
Have you lost your mind?
I have to talk to you.
Do not disturb me again.
Miranda walks into the room, closes the door in Andy's face. Interior of the chateau by day. Finally, Andy sees Miranda walking in. Miranda prepares to walk right past her.
Miranda, wait, I have to talk to you. You can fire me if you want to after that, but Irv's going to make Jacqueline Folais editor-in-chief of Runway. Christian Thompson told me he's going to work for her. Irv's going to tell you today. I thought if I told you now, you could fix it.
Andy stands there breathless, waiting for Miranda's reaction. And Miranda looks past her. We see she's scrutinizing a passing floral arrangement.
Are those freesias?
What? No, I specifically told them.
If I see freesias anywhere, I will be very disappointed.
Yes.
She walks away, leaving Andy standing there. Interior of the chateau by day. We see Miranda mingling with everyone, looking completely poised. Andy watches her, just can't believe her composure. She spots Christian. He raises a glass, and she looks away. Suddenly, the room quiets as Nigel steps to the podium. Interior of the chateau by day, Nigel is at the podium introducing Miranda.
It's been 82 years.
For 72 years, Runway has been more than a magazine. It's been a beacon of elegance and grace. Miranda Priestley is the finest possible guardian of that beacon, setting a standard that inspires people across the globe. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Miranda Priestley.
We see Andy applauding as Miranda steps to the podium.
Thank you, everyone. Bonjour. Before I talk to you about James and everything he's accomplished, I have news.
James smiles at her and raises a glass of champagne.
Tonight is not just an important night for me, for Runway, and for James. It is also important for someone else in this room.
Andy shoots a look at Christian. Can tell from the look on his face that he has no idea where this is going.
As of next month, James will be partnering with CFG in an expansion of his line.
Light applause.
James and Runway have one important thing in common, a commitment to excellence.
Andy looks over at Nigel, beaming.
And so it comes as no surprise that James has selected someone from the Runway family as the new co-president of JH International.
Nigel straightens his suit.
My esteemed colleague, Jacqueline Folais.
And she indicates Jacqueline, who waves. Everyone applauds. Andy's mouth falls open. She looks over at Nigel again. His face betrays nothing, and he applauds with everyone else. And Andy looks at Christian, who is also shocked as hell.
You get, bitch.
Let's wish
Thanks.
Jacqueline the best as she pursues this wonderful opportunity.
A hearty round of applause for Jacqueline. Miranda smiles.
And now to the business at hand, a celebration of one of my favorite designers.
She smiles at James. Interior of the chateau later. Andy watches everyone swirling around Miranda. She walks over to Nigel amongst the crowd of well-wishers.
You said it was your dream job.
He turns to her with some emotion on his face now.
I've given her everything I have, Andy. She knows that.
But you don't need her. You could just leave anyway and...
When the time is right, she'll pay me back.
Are you sure about that?
No, but I hope for the best. I have to.
And he rejoins the swirl. Just then, Christian catches Andy's eye. At the same time, Miranda appears in front of her.
I'm ready to go.
And Andy turns and walks away without so much as a glance back at Christian.
Hit him and quit him.
Interior of the limo by day. Miranda and Andy ride in the limo on their way back to Paris. Miranda is as relaxed as we've seen her.
You thought I didn't know.
Andy nods.
I've known what was happening for quite some time. It took a little while to find a suitable alternative for Jacqueline, one she would accept. Turned out that James Holt's job is so absurdly overpaid.
Interior of the restaurant by day. Miranda introduces Massimo to Jacqueline.
He jumped it.
Interior of the limo by day. Andy takes this in.
Then I let Irv know Jacqueline was unavailable.
Interior of Miranda's hotel room by day. Miranda welcomes Irv into her hotel suite.
Truth is, there is no one who can do what I do. Her
Interior of the limo by day. Andy watches Miranda stunned.
Any of his other choices would have found the job impossible, and the magazine would surely suffer, especially because of the list.
Interior of Miranda's hotel room by day. A quick flash of Miranda with Irv. She pushes a list across the table.
Designers, photographers, editors, writers, models, all of whom were found and nurtured by me.
Interior of the limo by day. Andy listens, amazed.
All of whom have promised to follow me whenever and if ever I leave Runway, to any publication I choose. Of course, as soon as Irv understood, he reconsidered.
Interior of the limo by day. Andy looks at Miranda, taking it all in.
I must say, I was impressed with you, how intently you tried to warn me.
Andy looks at her, stunned that she knows.
I never thought I would say this, Andrea, but I see a great deal of myself in you. Your dedication, your focus.
Miranda looks out the window. They're approaching the next party and the paparazzi are waiting outside.
People think success happens to you. It doesn't. You choose it. Every day, I choose excellence. Who else does what I do at my level? Nobody. They don't even understand what it takes, the days measured in milliseconds.
Andy stares at her.
But now you know, and I know, that you have it in you, that you can see beyond what other people want and choose for yourself.
She smiles, like she's just given Andy an enormous compliment. Andy reels.
I don't think I'm like that.
Miranda looks at her. Oh?
I wouldn't do what you did to Nigel, Miranda. There's no way I could do something like that.
Pause. Andy can barely believe what she said. But instead of exploding, Miranda smiles.
You already had to Emily.
Andy reels.
That's not what that was different. I didn't have a choice.
No, you did choose. You chose to get ahead. You want this life. Those choices are necessary.
But what if it's not what I want? I mean, what if I don't want to live the way you do?
Miranda looks at her and smiles. And this time, for the first time, her smile is almost maternal.
Don't be silly, Andrea. This is what everyone wants. Everyone wants to be us.
And with that, she opens the door to the limo. Exterior of the red carpet. Onto the red carpet, where she is instantly embraced by the flashing lights of the cameras. Andy quietly steps out behind Miranda, squinting. She's never really gotten used to the lights. Miranda moves down the red carpet and we follow her. It's not until Miranda is about to open the door that she realizes Andy is no longer beside her. Exterior of the Paris street in the evening. We see Andy walking down the street in the dusky light. She has never looked more beautiful. She is serene and she's free. The wind blows through her hair and she smiles. Her phone rings. She sees the name Miranda. Andy doesn't break stride for a moment as she tosses the ringing phone into the nearest fountain.
It's a great idea when you're across the world.
Right?
Right.
Yeah, you know.
As one does.
NBD.
You can get another
Interior of
one.
the airport by day, Andy walks off the plane. Sees Lily standing there among the chauffeurs, holding a sign that says Sachs. Andy cracks up and walks over to her.
Sorry, town car's in the shop.
You are such a pain.
And you'd be lost without me.
True.
They hug, and they start walking away together.
Does this mean I have to get my purse back?
She hugs it close.
Interior reunion restaurant day. Andy waits nervously. Nate walks in, slides into the booth across from her.
I have to be at work in 10 minutes. What's up?
I just wanted to say,
She gathers her nerve.
Nate, you were right about some things. I turned
Yes!
my back on my friends, my family, on everything I believed in. And for what?
For shoes and jackets and belts and...
Incomparable, experience.
Mm-hmm.
Nate, I'm so sorry.
He looks at her.
I flew up to Boston while you were gone, interviewed at the Oak Room.
And
you're looking at their new sous chef. I'm moving up there in a couple weeks.
that's great. Congratulations.
A moment as it sinks in what this means.
Don't know what I'm going to do without those late night grilled cheeses.
Probably eat better.
Well, we have bread in Boston. They might even have Jarlsberg. I guess we might be able to figure something out.
You think?
You never know.
They smile at each other. Friends, at least for now.
So, how about you? What are you going to do now?
Not sure.
I'm not worried about you. Anything you try, you're going to kick ass.
You think so?
No. I know it.
Thanks. I actually have an interview lined up for today.
He looks her up and down.
And that's what you're wearing? Interior of the office by day, Andy sits across from a scruffy guy in his early 40s.
How dare you call me early 40s? You take
Sorry.
it back.
It was
Take
in
it
the
back.
script, man.
Sure. You know our pay is crap.
That's fine.
Hold on, I'm scrolling. Your clips were excellent. That thing on the janitors union, that's exactly what we do here.
She smiles, humble now.
My only question, runway? What the hell kind of blip was that?
Learned a lot. In the end, though, I kind of screwed it up.
That's not what I hear.
Andy looks at him, confused.
Well, I called over for a reference, left word with some snooty girl. Next thing you know, I get a fax from Miranda Priestley herself.
Andy blanches.
Saying that of all of the assistants she's had, you are by far her biggest disappointment.
Andy takes a deep breath.
And, furthermore, that if I don't hire you, I'm an idiot.
On Andy, stunned.
So you must have done something right.
Exterior of Elias Clark by day. Andy walks over to the Elias Clark building, looking at a place that was, in its way, a home to her. Her eyes sweep up the building to the runway offices. She takes out her cell phone. Interior of the runway bullpen by day. We see Emily back at her desk. The camera widens out so we can see a new second assistant, eager and nervous. She's showing Emily a letter.
My God, you call this a letter? Can you spell any word in the English language?
The phone rings and Emily picks it up.
That was louder than I intended to be. Miranda Priest's office.
Emily, it's Andy. Don't hang up. I have a favor to ask you.
Interior of the runway bullpen by day. Emily looks incredulous.
You're joking. You have a favor to ask of me.
Exterior of the street by day. Andy is walking up the street on her cell phone.
Thing is, I have all these clothes from Paris and I don't have anywhere to wear them. So I was wondering, is there any way you could take them off my hands?
A beat. Emily realizes what Andy is offering, but she won't let that show.
Well, I don't know. It is a huge imposition, and I'll have to get them taken in. They won't fit me, but I suppose I could help you out. I'll have Roy pick them up this afternoon.
Thanks, Emily. I appreciate it.
Interior of the runway by day. And without a goodbye, Emily hangs up. The slightest smile creeps across Emily's face, but she quickly recovers and hands the assistant the letter.
You have very big shoes to fill.
Exterior of the street by day. Andy hangs up her phone and smiles. And suddenly she sees Miranda walk out of the building on the phone.
I don't understand why it's so challenging to get a car when I ask for one.
It should be there any second.
And at that moment, the car edges into view. Miranda hangs up and strides toward it. And just then, something catches Miranda's eyes. Andy, watching her. They look at each other. A beat. And then Andy nods her head in thanks, in salutation, in farewell. But Miranda does not react. She gets into the car. Andy shakes her head. That's Miranda. She smiles, then turns and starts to walk down the street. Interior of a car by day. Miranda gets in and sits back in her seat. Through her window, she can see Andy, a bounce in her step, walking away. And Miranda, alone, where no one can see her, finally breaks into a real smile. She nods to her driver. Let's go. Exterior of the street by day. Andy walks away, smiles, shakes her head, the whole thing almost like a dream. And as she continues moving confidently in the opposite direction from Miranda, we fade out.
Yay!
Yay!
We did it, yay.
We
So,
did it. Oh my gosh.
okay. Give a round of applause for our cast again. Our male extras and Christian, the creepo, Mona Chase.
Oh my god.
Yay. Ginger Fahrenheit playing Lily, the
Baby's
clappers
my
and
middle
everybody.
name.
Hey.
Playing Nate and narrating wonderfully for us, Brother Daniel. Playing Nigel, Benjamin Winkler.
Love.
I was your Emily Charlton.
Yes.
Yay!
Playing Andrea Sachs, Kelsi Davis.
Andrea.
Thank you.
And making more quick changes than Violet Chachki.
Yes.
Miranda Priestley, played by Samantha Madison.
Yeah.
Woo!
Oh my goodness, this was so much. Once again, so much fun. Thank you for tuning in. You asses that have donated, that's all I can say right now. I will put the link up one more time on all my socials. And we will see you on the 20th for Galaxy Quest, y'all.
Yay!
Yay! All right.